Words of Judy Brown. Happiness is a choice. And we're happy you're spending some time with us on our last show of the Christmas week. Hope everyone is having a great Christmas week. Zay, how's your Christmas week?
Not too shabby, man. Love this time of the year. Gift giving, family, food, football, basketball, everything intertwined with that. But yeah, man, just positive vibes all around. Feeling good, feeling great. Chip, how's your Christmas week going so far?
Hey, man. Can't complain. Can't complain. We got, friends and family. Things to be thankful for. I'm thankful for doing this show with you, my man.
Oh, likewise, man.
The one and only TMZ. I mean, the right call.
Nah, man, it's been a blast. Ready to keep it rolling. However long we're going to keep it rolling. Don't seem like we stopping anytime soon, and the people are loving it. TSU, guy Brad Kellner, still killing it for us, and just a terrific group of guys that talk that good sports talk here in Austin, Texas. So definitely thankful for that, man. And yeah, in that spirit, got the Christmas songs going on. You had to turn it off because got to do the show and stuff. But the Nat King Cole, the Temptations, Silent Night, little Mariah Carey, this Christmas, all that.
It's the best.
Best, man. The best.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those that turns on the Christmas songs after we finish the Thanksgiving meal like some do. I gotta wait till December 10th or so, and then I could get fully invested. And this week, it's been on and popping, man. Let It Snow by Boys to Men. Just classics. Classics. Yeah. Santa Claus Come Back to the Ghetto, James Brown.
Snoop? Snoop, I love Snoop.
Yo,
Santa
Snoop's
Claus coming straight to the ghetto.
Yo, R.I.P. Nate Dogg. That's a classic. Yeah, Sal Christmas in Hollis.
Oh, yeah.
Run DMC. Santa Claus comes straight to the ghetto.
Go straight to the ghetto.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Oh, yeah. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Let us know what you're thankful for, all these things.
Yeah, favorite Christmas songs.
Favorite Christmas songs.
Favorite Christmas foods. I hate fruitcake. Whoever's out here eating fruitcake with the nuts and the weird dried fruit and stuff, my grandma, God bless her soul, she used to whip that up, and she could bake now. She didn't like to, or my mom doesn't like to, she loved to bake, but fruitcake was always around and nobody touched it except for my mom's. And I just never understood why. Why was I get the colors, I understand that, but it's just too much going on for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm more of a tamales guy when Christmas comes around. You did?
Okay.
We're talking about Christmas foods here, but nah, I'll pass on the fruitcake. And I have a huge sweet tooth. So if I'm passing on a sweet, it's nasty.
Yeah. Fruitcake is like the joke of Christmas. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's like what candy corn is to Halloween.
Yes.
Yes. Why is it here? But
why? Where did it come from?
Where did it come? Who said this was cool? Who was that one person that made the fruitcake and was like, "Yo, this is gonna hit"? And then who was the person that agreed? Who was the person that was like, "Yeah, you right. This slams."
Right. Who were the people who jumped on that bandwagon? Because we need to run them over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that fruitcake it's like someone pulled off a total riddle on that,
All right. So according to the Googles, founded in ancient Rome, Yeah, it's German and Italian. So
Maybe we missed.
We're talking about like 1490s. It's saying on here. That's why they didn't have no palette back then.
Yeah. That maybe some ingredients got left out along the way or got put in.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, anyone who gives you a fruitcake, they don't like you.
They don't like you very much, huh?
They don't like you. That's you can cross them off the friends list.
Yeah, I'd rather slap me in the face than give me a fruitcake. Straight backhand, man. Right? You want the fruitcake or you want 5 fingers to the face?
Like a Will Smith slap to Chris Rock?
Oh yeah. Something of that sort. That's how nasty it is.
A DK Metcalf whack at a Lions fan?
Yeah. See, Joel, that makes sense because you need something that's gonna last a minute. Fruitcake. There was a fruitcake made in 2022 that they probably eating right now in 2026.
I thought we were talking about letting it harden up and then using it to like beat people over the head
with. That too. I'm sure it's like a weapon.
If you don't have any Acme bricks, you could, use that, whack someone over the head with, or build a house with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, DK Metcalf, 2-game suspension.
That's a message.
That's, man, right when your team is trying to win the division.
Ignorant.
What are we doing?
Ignorant, man.
Costing himself money. I always say, don't cost yourself money. Don't do it. Don't do it.
No.
But they do it.
Yeah. Can't help himself, man. Like, I don't know what he said that triggered DK Metcalf. You got to think it was something that goes back to childhood. That was a traumatic event where something, just the rage, and all he sees is red. And the things that you're talking about, Chip, the loss of money, the fact that this could affect this team, all that is a blur during that moment. All he sees is that blue-ass wig and those crazy words that he was saying to get triggered, and that was it. That was all he needed to see. Sad, man.
Yeah, that's sad.
Like, again, this is winning time. Like, we're trying to make a run. We got to have as much chemistry as possible. And you're a big part of our team, bro. Like, you're a mismatch nightmare. When you want to be, you're a really good blocker because your size, they can't teach his size and his speed. Like, he was killing y'all on blocks on Sunday. Or Warren was running. Once he gets to that second part, there go number 4, DK Metcalf, right there with him. Like, he's a big part of your team. And yeah, I hope he learns from this because it's just something as a professional athlete you can't do.
So let's see, what's his salary this year? Because he's gonna be without a couple of game checks. Oh wait, his suspension voids $45 million in guarantees. DK Metcalf's confrontation with a Detroit Lions fan will see him miss $550,000 in salary. But it also voids at least $45 million in future guaranteed money. Metcalf would still be able to earn that money over the next 2 years. His 4-year, $132 million contract from March, reviewed by CBS Sports, notes that if he fails to practice or play with the club for any reason, which includes players' suspension by the NFL or club for conduct detrimental. His guarantees will be null and void. Oh, man. You can't do that.
Just stupid.
You can't do that. $45 million.
Yeah. Yeah, the brother needs some type of therapy. He needs some type of, because you have to have some sense of awareness. Like, I get it. It's such a violent game. It takes just a different person to get in that mode and be successful at this sport we call football. And okay, yeah, that might be the case, but also you still got to be smart about your surroundings and what's going on and understand just the elephant in the room. You're on the road. I don't know. I feel like the opposing fans, when you're on the road, sometimes they hassle you a little bit. Like the football that I've watched and seen teams go on the road, the home team, a lot of the time hassles the players on the away team. It ain't nothing new, DK Metcalf. So, bro, you've been in the league long enough. When you used to go to Starkville, when you used to rock that Rebels helmet and they were ringing the cowbells, you were there, bro. I'm sure they called you all types of crazy shit that I'm sure might have triggered you. So why now? Why now when your team needs you the most and y'all are making the playoff run? Why do that? Because the camera's rolling. Like, it's not like it's 1975 and there's not a camera in sight. Wilt Chamberlain's 100-point game. We have no idea where that footage is at. That footage just doesn't exist. I'm out here watching Bob Cousy look at the ground doing all these dribbling in black and white, but we can't find Wilt's 100-point game. So, yeah, DK Metcalf, this is stupid. And now any type of failure that the Steelers have from here on out, it's going to come right back to DK Metcalf, and everybody's going to say, if we had DK, would the result been different? And that sucks, but it is what it is.
Man. I mean, Mike Tomlin, he's had Antonio Brown, George Pickens, now DK.
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job of like masking Antonio Brown's issues. Like, he didn't really go bath salts crazy until after he left Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah, they saw the signs. They saw the signs, but it didn't get that bad until he went off to – were they the Vegas Raiders then? I think they were still in Oakland, or I don't know.
The Raiders.
They're the Raiders.
Yeah. That was when Gruden was still the coach, right?
Oh, yeah. That was a Hard Knocks.
Oh, yeah. That was when he ripped the soles of his feet off.
Yep.
Going into that cryotherapy chamber when he was supposed to wear little booties. Instead, soles of his feet got ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah, George Pickens lost his mind, and they had problems with him. And George had a good year with the Cowboys, but, he had his moments down there in Dallas too. And, to what Pat King's saying, if he called them the N-word, okay. Like, no brother loves being called the N-word by somebody that ain't an N-word himself. It's not a good feeling. But I'm making too much money for that to bother me. Like, that's just –
yeah.
Come on, dog. Martin Luther King would tell you that.
Yeah. Don't swing down.
Come on, fam. Malcolm X, all these former greats that were called it back in the day that fought for brothers that look like DK Metcalf and they probably tell you, let it go. Let it go, please.
Yeah.
Because that's what those types of people want. They want you to crash out. That dude wanted DK Metcalf to slap him. He wanted that. So it's just, I don't know. That's sad. It's sad. My man Aaron Rodgers finally getting that groove. You know what I'm saying? He's doing all.
Oh yeah, it's great. It was so good to watch that against the Lions.
I'm just saying. You know he's had the Lions number for like 20 years, dog. He loves Ford Field. That's his second home. You might as well give him a suite and name it after him. What he's done the Ford Field over the years. So yeah.
Oh my God. He threw a Hail Mary to win a game. I mean, and he referenced all of it in his post-game comments. He's like, I've had a lot of great memories here. Like, great. That's what I want to hear.
He ain't the most humble.
Freaking Aaron Rodgers at 44 rolling into town and carving up your team. It's flipping fantastic. Merry Christmas.
Oh man, he got swag, man. When he be doing that play action, he be hiding the rock, and he be like looking, and he be hiding, and try to act all cool, and you know how he throw, he be getting rid of it, and he. If he wasn't so crazy, man, he'd be cool as hell. He's just insane. He's a nuts guy.
He was miserable.
John was right. John was right. I didn't even think about this. Like the McAfee thing, I forgot about all that. Like how much he was a distraction when he was constantly going on McAfee and constantly just saying outlandish things to the media. And
he's not doing that anymore.
Not doing that. Mike Tomlin got him right.
Now he walked off the field with Tomlin.
Yeah, they arm in arm.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking like Forrest Gump and Bubblegum Shrimp. Just friendly as hell. It's beautiful.
How about your guy, Old Man Rivers, last night?
Yo, man, what else can he do, Chip?
Man, he was kind of dealing there for a minute, and then old D Winters from TCU said, "Not today." Pick 6. Brock Purdy slinging it all over the place. 49ers roll into Indy, slap them Colts around.
Yeah. Shout out to Troy Aikman, straight up blaming Tyler Warren on that play, on that interception, which I appreciate as a Phillip Rivers fan, but who knows whose fault that was. Phillip's only been here for 2 freaking weeks. So I would assume there would be a lot of miscommunication out there. The fact that Rivers is doing what he's doing and they're not able to run the football. You got arguably the best running back in the NFL, and you only rack up, 58 yards on the ground. So Kyle Shanahan, great game plan. Let 44-year-old Phillip Rivers beat us. We'll live with the results. And as good as Phillip was yesterday, just them being one-dimensional, there's just still throws that Phillip can't make. Like he could make them back in the day. 10 years ago, he was making that throw to Tyler Warren on that corner route. His feet got all choppy, footwork horrible. I'm sure his players that he's going to come back to, his quarterbacks that he coaches, they should let him know, like, yo, coach, man, you be on my footwork. Some of them throws you got out there, wow. But to his defense, we're in the National Football League here. But, yeah, he made some throws. Josh Downs, he's out here just running the show on the line of scrimmage before the snap, changing plays, pointing. He looks comfortable, all things considered. But, yeah, just a couple of throws he definitely wish he probably have back. And what can you do when the 49ers are putting up 40-something points and Brock Purdy's out here going 5 touchdowns down and just lighting it up? You can't get them off the field.
Well, Texas basketball last night at the Moody Center, not a ton of fans. Christmas break, but they get it done against Maryland Eastern Shore. And then Sean Miller went off on his team for its crummy defense. And because apparently Maryland Eastern Shore lost a game earlier this year, like 94-29. And they were kind of hanging with Texas for a while. Texas ends up winning 94-71. This game was miserable to watch in the second half because the refs let it get out of hand from a physical standpoint. Barely called any fouls in the first half. And then it was just a foul fest in the second half. In the second half, you had over 20 fouls called. Brutal.
Yeah, Maryland Eastern, I mean, kudos to them for fighting. Like, they were talking a lot of smack for a team that was losing by double digits in that second half, where it did get a little chippy. And, Sean Miller, after the game, he was honest and he kept it real with the media. And I think he started to realize he has a real problem here with this squad. And even though he's going to have to pretend to have a smile and pretend to be optimistic because that's what the gig calls for, I think he's just straight up realizing he doesn't have the personnel to really compete in this conference and to just play with the big dogs. Because these games against quad 4 competition, they don't tell you nothing, Chip. Like, what they're doing, they're out muscling Maryland Eastern. Like you just mentioned it, they got rolled by like 70 in a game this year.
94-29 at Georgia.
What do we do with that? So if you're struggling against teams like this, and we've seen it besides North Carolina State, which, hey, this might be cold, but I put an asterisk on that game just because you're playing in Maui. You got those friendly-ass rims. The shooting depth perception is perfect. You're playing in a rinky-dink high school gym. That is compared to nothing that you're going to be playing against for the rest of the year. So everybody shot well. Jordan Pope dropped 27. They put up like 102. Everybody's feeling themselves. They come back. They play in an arena. The lights are brighter, and we're getting clanks again. And now we're struggling to find some type of offensive rhythm. So we saw that coming. We talked about it after Maui and like, should this Texas team be excited? And we talked about it. So it's not surprising that here they are still struggling. And it's just straight up because the personnel isn't good. It's not good. They play hard at times. They try, but sometimes they just do dumb things. Like I saw a play from Nick Cody, bless his heart, man, because he's really struggling. He had 2 possessions, offense, then defense. He gets in late as hell in the game anyway. He's not playing in a normal rotation. I think Sean Miller has dumbed it down to an 8-man rotation, which involves Heidi, Mathis, Pope, Swain, Mark, Lacina, Weaver, and Wilcher. Those are the 8 that I think you're going to have to ride with for the rest of the season, and maybe sprinkle in a little Daru, which I still don't understand why he doesn't play, and a little bit of Cody here and there. But Cody had a play. He's trying to feed Mathis. Horrible pass. It ends up in a turnover. They're running back on defense. Nick Cody's like looking around, trying to find his man. Can't find him. It leads to a wide open dunk. Sean Miller, Michael Jordan style, hands on his knees, bent over, just in disgust. You see the rest of the coaches on the bench. Oh, like they're getting fed up. And I don't blame them. And Sean Miller talked about it. He's like, yo, big old villain in a James Bond movie, brother. Number 14, he could shoot the 3. Scouting report. Remember, 14 could shoot the 3. Mathis, 14 can shoot the 3. Jordan, 14 can shoot the 3. Okay, cool. We got you, coach. We got you, coach. Mathis, he might have translated, we got you, coach, in Lithuanian. I don't know. But hey, we're all on the same page. They get out on the court. Homeboy hits 4 threes. Now Sean Miller's like, where's the disconnect? That's just IQ stuff. Just not a very smart team. And Mathis isn't a good defender if his man can step out and shoot on the perimeter. He doesn't want to be out there like most 7-footers don't. So it's a mixture of basketball IQ. It's a mixture of lack of size with the guards, Mathis, lack of lateral movement. You know, the power forward position, their best bet is playing Swain at the 4 and space.
That's what I wanted to ask you about, because I saw you tweet. We've been talking about that power forward position. What do they do with it? And they've had Swain at the 3, but they're playing him at the 4, and you like it.
For offense, yeah. For defense, Swain's going to get into a lot of foul trouble. So you don't like that. You need to keep him on the court. But in the SEC, there's going to be power forwards that are 6'9", 6'10", 240 plus. You know, Dalen Swain, they got him listed at 6'8", but I think he's more of a 6'6" than he is a 6'8". And I also think he's more of a 205, 210 than he is that 215, 220. So playing the 4, some games you'll be able to get away with it, but it will wear on guys like a Dalen Swain. And the guards too, the guards are small. Like they try Jordan Pope, undersized guard. So if you get switched off on him, I'm attacking him, which is why they foul a lot. They're one of the worst teams in the nation when it comes to fouling because they're just outmatched. They're there in the right position, but then once that contact comes into play and they get pushed back, your first reaction as a defender is to wipe. It's to swipe, wipe, reach, anything to try to get some momentum back and get back in the hunt defensively and not get beat. And everyone does that. Even Weaver at times, as good as he is, he's only 6'2", 6'3", so you put him on a 6'6" guy that can attack the rim, he's outmatched. And you can't keep helping the helper. If you have one player that's a mismatch, you try to overly help him, but when you got 3 on the court and we're all over helping each other, it's going to end up in something that's favorable for the offense. So again, Sean Miller, I think he's realizing, damn, this year 1, we're just trying to hold on and hope that we could play in these games. But, you know, he did that analogy where it's just there's leaks. I don't know what he said, but the analogy was good. There's leaks everywhere, and they're trying to cover them up. They're trying to plug those holes in, and then a new leak pops out, and hey, it's tough. They're a tough watch right now.
Like at one point, Simeon Wilcher was playing great defense. They were extending their defense, and it's getting down, low in the shot clock. And then all of a sudden, Wilcher gets kind of up faked and he fouls after playing, 20 seconds of great D. Yeah. And they don't seem very connected on the defensive end of the floor in terms of their rotations and, stepping out, showing on screens. Yeah. It just seems like they're kind of frenetic for no reason.
Yeah, they have to hope and pray that they play against bigs that just want to stick around the paint and that can't move very well. Because if they play against a big that's mobile, kind of like what we saw with UConn, kind of like what we saw with Duke, kind of like what we saw with Virginia, you see the pattern here? All the losses that they've had, all those mobile bigs, that they've played against where they're just going at Mathis and forcing him to make defensive decisions where he's struggling. And Sean Miller recognizes that. He said that in the presser, like, I'm trying to get Mathis to turn it up a notch defensively. Like, we need that from him because he is the weak link that when offenses go to prepare for the scouting report, that's what they're seeing. That's what these coaches are seeing. Oh, big man can't move on the perimeter. Attack him. Guards, your eyes should light up when you see him coming off a screen. Go at him because either he'll foul or you'll be able to beat him and create for somebody else. And you can't tell in games like this where they're beating quad 4 opponents, but you can really tell when they're playing against these teams that might go to the Sweet 16, these tournament teams, and that's why they don't have many quad 1 wins right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see if that can possibly improve, but yeah, that was rough.
Yeah. I love what Sean Miller said about Tremont Mark, though. That's exactly what I said last week, where I was talking about just that they came in with an analytic approach because that's just where the game is. We want to get to the rim. We want to shoot threes. We want to get away from mid-range jumpers and bad floaters and stuff. That's what we want to get away with. Stats show that those are bad shots, but not for everyone. Tremont Mark is one of those anomalies where he needs the mid-range game in order to be successful. So I said that last week. What did Sean Miller say in the presser? That exact same thing. And he owned up to it. He was like, yeah, I finally understand his game now. What we were doing at the beginning of the season didn't favor him, which is the analytic approach, threes and get to the basket. Now they're giving him ISOs on the elbow to go one-on-one. That's some old school 90s NBA stuff where you had a solid two guard like MJ or Mitch Richmond or Reggie Miller, and sometimes they could go ISO just because they're that good in that area. Like sometimes you got to go back to that because you have to fit what you have personnel-wise. So with Tremont Mark, it works. You know what I'm saying? And you got to keep that up. But also, there's a reason why the analytics are what they are. When you face good teams, let's see how that approach for Tremont Mark works in the SEC. And that's why we've seen Tremont Mark's career go up and down because he's talented. It's just the style that he plays in this era of basketball sometimes can be irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, the Texas women are number 2 in the country.
So good.
And getting some well-deserved time off before they return to the floor on the 28th and then open SEC play at Missouri on January 1st. The men open SEC play against Mississippi State at home on January 3rd. So,
yeah.
Everyone will have time to get back from the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl and then head over to the Mood.
Yeah.
Or not.
You better be ready for Josh Herbert, Mississippi State. That dude. Jordan Pope, Simeon Wilcher, Tremont Mark, Kendall Weaver. You got your hands full with Josh Herbert. They're not as tough as they were last year, but he's still there. He's good.
We will be joined by Chris Hummer for a special Tuesday appearance at 2:45. Lance Taylor, Crazy Lance, will join us at 3:30. So I don't know if we're doing picks.
Yeah, hell yeah, we're doing picks.
We're doing picks. We don't have any good bowl games until next week.
I wasn't even thinking about college.
Okay, pro. We'll do pro.
Do pro.
Okay. But let me ask you this, Zay, because Texas has 9 opt-outs for the Citrus Bowl. Most of them on defense, obviously. Leonga Lafau, Derek Williams, Anthony Hill, Michael Taft, Malik Muhammad, Ethan Burke, Trey Moore, Jalen Gilbo, and then on offense you've got DeAndre Moore. Give me a player you're looking forward to seeing with an opportunity in the Citrus Bowl because of these opt-outs.
Ty Anthony Smith. Ty Anthony Smith, you're the man, dog. You're that dude. I expect him to have the green sticker on the helmet. You know what I'm saying? Calling the shots. Letting everybody know that, hey, I'm running the show. There ain't no Mookie Taft to rely on. Like you said, no Manny Muhammad, no Anthony Hill. So, yeah, Ty Anthony Smith, you got to show Coach Muschamp that, hey, I can rely on you, dude. And obviously he'll be watching. Johnny Nansen will be calling the shots for defense in this game. But, yeah, Ty Anthony Smith, who was solid this year, Had a good season. I thought he wore down a little bit, like a lot of the players did defensively, due to them being on the field so much because the offense of struggles early on. But yeah, Ty Anthony Smith, I think he could have a huge season next year, and I think it starts now. How about you?
Yeah, as you were talking, I was just thinking, who's probably going to have a big game is Marshall Landwehr. Because he'll probably play some middle linebacker with Ty Anthony Smith playing weak side linebacker. But I'm interested to see, Kobe Black and Warren Roberson, especially Kobe Black, because he had the rough game against Florida. His snaps fell off. Then they had a bunch of guys get nicked up in the A&M game, so he's in there for extended playing time, and he comes up with a huge interception. He had a big hit on Mario Craver, and he showed up big time in that game, and he should benefit from playing in the Will Muschamp defense. Muschamp wants big physical corners who will get up on the line and press, and this is, he's 6'2", he can run. I love that he played it, Connolly with, he was, I guess it was, no, Kobe was, he was Waco Connolly, wasn't he?
Yeah, him and Jelani McDonald.
Yeah. So I love that those guys have history and chemistry. So I want to see what how Kobe Black's doing and how his confidence level is. Warren Roberson too. I'm sure they'll both get time, and you'll have Cade Phillips out there as well. But this is like Kobe Black. He was a big time recruit. He's obviously got the physical measurables. Let's see what it looks like, Yeah. Because he's competing for a starting job.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's weird that, it's not weird, but I felt like that switch, having Jalen Gilbo take less snaps, giving Kobe Black, Cade Phillips, and Warren Roberson more. If it would have came sooner, what if? You know what I'm saying? Like, why did that take so long? Because you started to notice Jalen Gilbo's struggles as the season went on. And just, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't making plays either. It was just kind of like Pete Kwiatkowski type deep, like bend but don't break. And then sometimes it would be a big break that you would remember that could cost your team the game. So I'm kind of surprised that they haven't flirted with the portal or anything. And who says that their mind won't change? I feel like after the game, you'll start to see more guys enter the portal and put their name out there. But you hope that you can bring these guys back, and that being in Muschamp's defense, it's a bigger click, and it makes more sense than it was for them this year. Because I was a little disappointed in Kobe Black. I thought it would be a big jump. I thought him and Jalen Gilbo would be battling more. And then after that Florida game, they just kind of lost trust in him, which is unfortunate, but he made up for it. So can he keep riding that momentum into 2026 and possibly have a big Cheez-It Bowl? I'll definitely be locked in to see what Kobe's got going on.
Yeah. And then it's safety. No Michael Taff. You will have Jelani McDonald. You'll have Xavier Filsaime. But how much Jonah Williams do we see? Because Jonah was getting, more and more snaps at the end of the year. And he was the number one recruit in that number one ranked recruiting class in 2025. And we know he's crazy athletic. I remember talking to Casey Hampton about him because he's a Galveston ball kid, just like Casey. And Casey's like, this guy is so talented. he could line up anywhere. And this is that weird time of year for Jonah Williams, because he'll finish up this and then he'll move over to baseball. And he won't go through spring football with Will Muschamp, who will be working with the safeties. And this will be interesting because Will Muschamp is about guys who find football important to him, but how understanding will Muschamp be about baseball? I'm sure he'll be understanding to some degree because Jonah Williams is that talented, but I want to see what kind of run Jonah Williams gets in this game, and Zalis Hicks too, because Zalis Hicks, 6'3", long arms, can run. Anthony Hill mentioned him to me back in training camp. He's like, I want to see what this guy's all about, because man, is he long and can run. And okay, let's see how much run they get in this Citrus Bowl.
Did they redshirt him this year? What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he got no burn. I didn't
right.
see I don't even think he was on the road trips.
Right. No, he wasn't. He wasn't on the travel squad. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued there. And then what kind of run are we going to see from these young receivers, the guys we haven't seen yet? The Khalil Lockett, Jamie French. Like, this is, you still have Ryan Wingo, Parker Livingston, Emmett Mosley V. You could just play those guys and not play the young guys. But do you play the young guys? Because you're paying them. You might want to see what they're all about in game action. Because that's the thing. I mean, people are like, well, he could be a bad practice player, could be a good gamer. But we haven't even seen him in a game to know.
Oh, yeah.
Khalil Lockett, who I'm probably the most excited about of those, love Dalen McCutcheon, but Khalil Lockett is one of these bouncy guys. I mean, people talk about him having a 40-inch vertical.
Oh, the what?
Crazy vertical, big hands. I'm like, let's see some of that.
40?
I don't know if that's true, but
I'm about to say 40.
I mean,
all right.
Let's see what it's all about.
Yeah.
Get a little glimpse. You know?
I want to see everybody play. Like, throw KJ Lacey out there. Like, there's no, loss for that. Like, Arch, we know what Arch could do. We got 2026 Arch. Like, if Arch wanted to play the first half, cool. We want to take him out the second half, put in KJ Lacey, cool too. Like, just get guys in the game and see if they're good enough that you want them back. Because not everybody you want back. Sometimes it's one of those, hey, man, I'll make some calls for you. Get your name out there. We appreciate your time, but.
Well, speaking of the transfer portal, let's bring in the guy who's breaking all the news as it pertains to the transfer portal. And he had the DeAndre Moore scoop, the one and only Chris Hummer. We tell you all the time, follow him on social media at Chris_Hummer. Hole in one Hummer. Merry Christmas. How you doing?
Good, guys. Merry Christmas to y'all. How are you doing?
Good, Hummer. Appreciate you.
We're doing good. It's nice of you to step out of the transfer portal for a second to talk to us. Any hot scoop happening today that we need to know about?
No, I don't think so. I think maybe if Texas is in the linebacker market, the Auburn linebacker that I posted about earlier might matter, Robert Woodyard, but I don't think anybody directly tied to Texas right now.
Okay. Yeah, that they're definitely in the market for linebackers.
Yeah. I think Woodyard might be got to keep an eye on. If you're watching the bowl games right now, I'd be keeping an eye on Isaac Brown as well.
Isaac Brown. Who's he playing for?
Louisville. They're playing Toledo right now.
Okay. Hummer, so much of what's going on is all behind the scenes. It seems like, guys are waiting to announce they're going into the portal while they figure out who's interested in them. How much of that is going on right now?
Yeah, that's all that's happening. I think what we'll see on January 2nd when the portal opens is just a wave of guys who either already have contracts in place or at least have multiple visits set up. The way the calendar works, it's just, we know like the NBA and the NFL, I think, have like a pre-tampering period or whatever it's called. This is exactly what that is. Schools can't talk directly to the players, at least legally, but you're seeing schools and agents maneuver behind the scenes trying to get things set up. And it's kind of a messy system right now.
Yeah. Hummer, Pete Kwiatkowski fired, Will Muschamp hired. Steve Sarkisian last week in his press conference said that Will Muschamp is basically the defensive head coach of the team. Your thoughts on that move?
Yeah, that's still one of the weirdest. That's one of the weirdest ones I've ever seen. Maybe not weird. One of the more shocking moves I've ever seen. I've discussed it with Chip off to the side. Certainly was expecting changes on defense. I don't think anybody. Dwayne Aquino is not coming back, but to see Pete Kwiatkowski essentially let go was a pretty big shock. I still have talking to do to people over time, but he had 4 top 25 defenses the last 4 years. It's not like he was the problem. And I don't know. It's weird that Steve Sarkisian felt like he needed to spend that much time on defense anyway, because I would argue the side of the football that was problematic this year was mostly the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Very interesting. But do you like the hire?
I think so. It's been over a decade since Will Muschamp's called plays. So, I guess we don't know. He's been in the Georgia ecosystem. He's obviously an elite defensive coach. Texas fans, I'm sure, remember Will Muschamp extremely fondly for what he did for the Texas program in the 2000s and at once the head coach in waiting for a short amount of time here. I think he's a really good coach, but I don't know what it looks like in this era. We'll see. I think it's going to be good. Will Muschamp's a really, really good coach, but until we see him calling plays with this personnel, it's hard to tell because he just hasn't done it in such a long time. But he's super well respected in the industry. So if you're going to replace somebody like PK, you better get somebody that's really good. And on paper, Will Muschamp is really good.
Yeah. What are you expecting from this Citrus Bowl from Texas? Only 65 players are on scholarship that'll be playing. Now, who knows? Maybe some walk-ons. But what are you expecting just in a game that a lot of Texas fans don't really care about? Just being real, Hummer. Just being real.
I don't know. I would imagine you see some younger players. A lot of schools are treating bowl practice and bowl games as an opportunity to get a sense of their bottom half of their roster. Because what you have to do right now is make decisions on the bottom half of your roster. You used to be able to go through spring and find out if your 5th receiver could be your 3rd receiver next year, right? And then if that was a no, you can go get somebody in the portal. Now teams have to make those decisions right away. So I think this is an opportunity for Texas to play some of their freshmen, play some of the sophomores that haven't played a ton. Merry Christmas to you as well, CB. And I have far less questions about Texas than I do about Michigan going to this game. I'll put it that way. So should be a fun one. Two really fun uniform combinations. So it'll be good.
Yeah. Well, the playoff has reached the quarterfinals. Hummer, Oregon versus Texas Tech. Bama versus Indiana. Ole Miss versus Georgia. The Miami Hurricanes will take on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Do you see any of the top 4 seeds in trouble?
I think the most likely top 4 seed to be in trouble is Texas Tech, but that's just because they're playing the best of the teams that advanced on the other side of the bracket. I mean, that game's really fun, right? It's oil money versus shoe money. It's like two of the new money brands in college football. It's one of the best front sevens I've seen in a long time, probably in some ways since Georgia's front seven in like 2022, 2021 and Texas Tech's defense versus the fastest team in college football. It's a really intriguing matchup. And if I was going to spotlight one, sorry, I'm watching my dog. If I was going to spotlight one team that could be in trouble, it'd be Texas Tech. But that's just because I think it's like such an interesting game.
Yeah. Hummer, your thoughts on A&M going down? It was an ugly one, but Mario Cristobal in Miami, I think they wanted it that way. They ran the ball with Fletcher. Malachi Tony overcame that fumble with a touchdown. And at the end, Marcel Reed threw a huge game-winning opportunity interception. And now A&M fans are questioning bringing Marcel Reed back. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I would be shocked if Marcel Reed wasn't back. I'll state that from the top. He struggled, but there aren't a ton of upgrades up there over Marcel Reed. And if you did get an upgrade, it would be insanely expensive. But, I mean, that game did come down to which quarterback made more mistakes. I would have bet on Carson Beck to be that guy based on what we've seen at times this year, but he played pretty clean. And Marcel Reed fumbled once and threw 2 picks. One really ill-timed pick at the end of the game, and it wasn't enough. And I mean, if you go back and look on Texas A&M season in retrospect, that's a team that really didn't play the toughest parts of the SEC schedule and has really kind of struggled down the stretch as we saw against Texas and Miami. So A&M is going to have to figure out a way to have Marcel Reed take a step next year. He was better this year. You need him to be much better next year. And they're going to have to play some key pieces on that defense for them to really continue to take a step forward.
Yeah, how much do they lose offensively, Hummer?
A lot. They're going to lose a lot of their offensive line. They were one of the oldest offensive lines in college football. I don't know if he's announced yet, but I would be shocked if KC Concepcion wasn't going to the league. I think he may be announced already. They're going to have to upgrade at running back more than likely. That room's been a problem for them all year. So they have some pieces that are coming back, but there's also going to be a lot of work to do in the portal for them.
What percentage chance do you give Miami against Ohio State?
I mean, I don't know what the odds makers have it, but I'd probably have Ohio State something like a minus 250 favorite. I think Miami definitely has a chance. The thing you have to be able to do against Ohio State is match up in the trenches, and Miami can certainly do that. They have one of the best offensive lines in college football, 2 of the best edge rushers in college football, and we saw that on display all day against A&M. But you have to be able to score consistently, and Miami, despite what happened against A&M, has struggled to run the ball with any consistency this year. Carson Beck's had his tough moments against really good defenses, and if Carson Beck can play clean and they can figure out a way to run the ball, Miami's got a shot, but I just trust Ohio State's offense a little bit more in this game.
Yeah. Hummer, what'd you see Friday night in the OU-Alabama game? I mean, OU, it looks like they were going to blow out Bama, being up 17-0, and then all of a sudden, here comes the Crimson Tide, and Ty Simpson looked like the Ty Simpson that we saw earlier in the year, and yeah, just a huge choke job from the Sooners. Your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, it was a big choke job. There's no question about that. I mean, I think we saw 2 things. We saw the Alabama that, as you mentioned, Zay, we were seeing in the first half of the year. Ty Simpson had not looked like the guy he was for the first 6 to 8 weeks of the season in November and December so far, but we got that guy. And then for Oklahoma, you saw an offense like we've seen a lot of the year. Like, it just gets mucked up. I mean, they outgained Alabama by 100 yards, but like they still only had 360 yards for the game. John Mateer threw a pretty crippling interception, and we've seen him put the ball in danger at times. And yeah, that's just an offense that's going to have to get better going into next year if they want to continue that momentum, because it's just been a problem for them really all season. And we saw that pop up in the second half. Like, they just couldn't consistently generate offense to put the game away.
Hummer, Michigan, you mentioned Michigan. what on earth is going on there? I mean, I've heard Jeff Brom's name as a possible head coach. Do you think there's going to be an exodus of players from the Michigan program? What's your sense?
It's an interesting. I think when that happened, when they fired Sharon Moore, they weren't exactly 100% expecting to have to hire a coach, if that makes sense. So we've seen a lot of rumors around this search. I would say a lot of them have been misguided in terms of the rumors that are out there. Michigan hasn't been particularly far along for most of this. Even the Jeff Brom stuff, which, I'm hearing it too. Like, maybe it does happen, but it's not as advanced as people on a message board or maybe other places are saying it is. And I think in terms of the roster, it depends on who they hire. I think everyone is potentially up for grabs at Michigan. I think the locker room was pretty pissed at Sharon Moore on the way out and how that happened, based on everything I've heard. But they're going to have to hire the right coach to retain the roster. And that's very possible. That's starting with Bryce Underwood and everybody else, but they certainly have to find that guy. And shoot, man, I don't think it's going to happen, but if you get told no once or twice, Biff Poggi becomes more and more of a realistic possibility. He's interviewed. I know that. I think he said as much the other day. He's interviewed multiple times. He's made a real push behind the scenes. So they still have a lot of work to do on that search front.
Zay, you got one more?
Yeah, Hummer. Alabama, just again, big time win. A lot of people were writing off Kalen DeBoer and the squad, and obviously for the Michigan job, there were those rumors swirling around. But do you give them any confidence of beating Indiana and moving on?
I think it's possible. I mean, at the end of the day, Alabama's roster is still more talented than Indiana's roster, top to bottom. I know Fernando Mendoza might go number 1 in the draft and everything, but Alabama still has an insanely talented roster. But Alabama hasn't been able to consistently run the ball this year. It's been a problem all season. Indiana has a top 10 run defense, and Indiana just doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Alabama has played far less steady football for much of the year, and in the playoff, and the margins are really thin and every team is good, playing within yourself matters. And I think I think Indiana's a justified favorite. But we'll see how that plays out. I would take Alabama to cover, but Indiana to win.
Hummer, you think Texas is going to be super aggressive in the portal?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I think Texas has to upgrade on the offensive line. I think Texas is going to take a receiver. I think Texas is going to take a running back. Texas is going to take a linebacker, probably going to take a defensive lineman, might take somebody in the secondary. There's a lot of holes to fill out there for Texas. And I mean, you have to be, right? This is probably Arch Manning's last year. You have a championship window. You got to take advantage. Yeah.
You got one more year of Arch and Colin Simmons. Hummer, I know you got to bounce. We appreciate you. Merry Christmas, hole-in-one Hummer.
Merry Christmas to y'all as well. May there be a very entertaining Citrus Bowl under your tree.
Yeah. Appreciate your
God, I hope so.
All right, guys. Talk to y'all later.
There he is, hole-in-one Hummer. Yeah. God, I hope it's an entertaining Citrus Bowl since I'm dragging myself out there.
Oh, don't do that. Orlando deserves more respect than that. You're going with your lovely wife. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going to Disney to see Goofy. Oh, yuck. You're going to have a great time.
I said I was thinking about going to Disney World. It's going to be packed. Man, it's already. And the thing about Disney World is you walk in there, it used to be $250 to go for a day.
Oh, that's cheap.
That's all I could think about was every single person walking around. I was like, that's $250. No wonder Disney owns everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Walt. Yeah. And I don't know if Walt was the best dude either. I think Walt had some demons, man. I don't know for sure. Y'all go check that. I don't know for sure. But I might get that mistaken for someone else.
Was that Goofy you were doing?
Yeah. Shout out to Goofy, man. Goofy was a
give it
brother.
Give it to me again.
Yuck. Yo, the Goofy movie, that's a classic. That's a classic. I love that movie. That's my favorite Disney movie. I'm not a big Disney guy, but the OG Goofy movie, 1995, where they had Tevin Campbell playing Powerline, like the music dude. Like he was the big like music superstar in the movie, played by OG Tevin Campbell, which is my dude, legendary R&B Tevin Campbell. Yo, that movie's one of them ones, man. I'm not a Little Mermaid, Pocahontas, Cinderella. Nah, you can miss me with that. Maybe when Brandy was playing Cinderella, that was cool. Whitney Houston playing Cinderella's mom, I remember that. But as far as animated, Goofy movie, top of the line right there.
Top of the line.
Top of the line. Yeah, y'all know. Man, T. Cox, CB, y'all know what I'm talking about.
So, CB's pointed out some Texas fans are perplexed by a tweet that Colin Simmons put out today. It was post on social media that says, appreciate every moment, which could just be him, talking about Christmas, talking about the holiday season.
Yeah, I love these guys, man. I love these guys so much. Colin Simmons, I appreciate you, man. This is the ultimate troll thing. You just want to get these Texas fans blood boiling. That's all it is. That's all it is, because that's a wild thing to say. And you're right. It can mean nothing, Chip, but you know how folks going to think it. See, all right.
Appreciate every moment.
Yeah.
Every single moment.
That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
He is exactly right. He's exactly right. You never know when somebody's going through behind the scenes. I'm not going to speculate that, but yeah, him saying that, he's going to get people's ears perked up. That's for sure.
T. Cox says Texas needs to go after the linebacker from Auburn, Robert Woodyard. He just went into the portal, first team all SEC. Yeah, that would help. First team all SEC helps.
Yeah.
It's going to be expensive. Like if you're doing your Christmas shopping, Texas is getting ready to do its Christmas shopping in the portal. It's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, hey,
it ain't going to be a budget Christmas this year for Texas.
And it shouldn't be. Like, pay the cost to be the boss, baby. Let's go. Like, and that's what I'm saying. Some guys I have to take less money too. That's okay. How bad do you want it? You know what I'm saying? I'm speculating here, but it probably went to DeAndre Moore like, yo, D, what's up, man? What you want? D put down what he want. They said, we were thinking more of this. DeAndre Moore said, huh? What? DeAndre Moore looked to the right, saw Ryan Wingo's numbers and said, nah, this is what I need. And Texas was like, well, we can't do it. Yeah.
Can't do it.
It's just, that's some tough conversations, man. I know it's awkward too. I know it's awkward as hell because you want these guys to be a part of the grind. That's what you hope. When you recruit them, when you in mama's house, when you hold in the baby sister on the lap, just doing all types of pitches. You know what I'm saying? Mama brings you the potato salad. It could be nasty as hell, but that 5-star player in there, you're going to say that potato salad's good. So there's a lot of time spent into getting these guys to be invested in your program. And when they live up to it, yeah, it's easier to pay them. But also when you're trying to make sure everyone gets fed, and sometimes their expectations are unrealistic, and you got to keep it real with them, and they ain't budging, it can get a little awkward, I'm sure. And decisions have to be made there. Because I get guys betting on themselves. Like DeAndre Moore is betting on himself. I can't knock that. We live in America. I can't knock DeAndre Moore saying, nah, this ain't it. I'm just as good, if not better, than the guy that was getting all the throws this year, all the looks. Third down, you knew who they were going to. They run that drag route. Ryan Wingo. You know DeAndre Moore hot. As a competitor, I would be too. I want that ball. I want those opportunities. So, yeah, like, it's tough situations, man. And
I heard from the beginning that DeAndre Moore was likely not coming back. So
what does that mean, the beginning?
Like from the end of the regular season.
Damn.
Like almost immediately. So I think he was fed up, by the time the season ended with his status on the team as not being a number one and 31 less targets than Ryan Wingo. So
he saw himself as a number one for real. Like, and I was with him. I was like, oh man, the way he's talking, I want Biletnikoff, Jordan Shipley, we coming for that record. I'm like, okay, DeAndre Moore, you must have had a really good offseason, and it wasn't even close to that. So that probably was a huge gut shot to your pride. And if you're looking at yourself that way, which good for him for doing that, and clearly it doesn't go that way, then yeah, somebody got to own up to it. Like, why? And who knows what the coaching staff was telling them. Like, I'm sure they heard that.
Wait, is it Jordan Shipley and Quan Cosby's birthday today?
Damn.
If that's, they're the most prolific receiver tandem in school history.
Easy.
2008. Man, that's crazy. Happy birthday to those dudes. They had an unbelievable 2008.
Yeah.
Oh, they both had double-digit receptions in that 45-35 win over OU in 2008. That was when they took the tight end off the field and moved Jordan Shipley into that kind of ultra slot and got him matched up on Ryan Reynolds, the OU linebacker, and Jordan Shipley wore his ass out. It was a great move by Greg Davis. He went back into his old playbooks, pulled that out. OU had no idea. It was like, oh my God, for once, Texas had the ultimate X's and O's sneak attack on old Bobby Stoops.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to those guys. That's awesome.
I think of Quan Cosby. I think of that block that he had.
Woo!
Just
Lendy Holmes.
Yeah. Quan'd still be suspended to this day if they had the same rules that they have now back then. The way that he hit homeboy.
Lendy Holmes flew 5 yards in the air.
Yeah, Lendy Holmes, I hope he's doing well, because if he has CTE, everybody's going to think about that hit. Yeah, I hope he's fine. I hope he's fine. Like, God bless his soul. But if he has any CTE down the line, blame Quan. Put that on Quan.
Man. Yeah. That's what we call a crack back block.
Yeah. I miss them days, man. I know these guys have a livelihood. I want these guys to walk when they get older. And, the NFL is just a short period of your life. Football is just a short period of your life. But damn, there was something about them hits. Change your whole offense. Like, one of my favorite things is when Tom Brady talks about back in the day. Like, it's fascinating because he's like, man, it's a part of the game plan to know the personnel on the other field. So if I got the Ravens this week, I'm not throwing it across the middle because Ray freaking Lewis is there chilling, waiting. And I want my wide receiver available next week. We're trying to make a playoff run. Like, those thoughts go in your mind. I don't know if guys thinking like that this day and age because they don't have to. You know, every once in a while you get the illegal hits and stuff, but guys ain't trying to get fined.
CB, the world's greatest volunteer producer in the history of radio, says Quan says Lendy is still salty to this day. It's understandable.
As he should be.
The guy became a GIF. And yeah, Jordan Shipley caught the pass. Quan was deep downfield. Lendy was closing in on Shipley. Never saw Quan coming at him and just sent him flying at top speed, went about 5 yards in the air. Somehow they got Shipley down like at the 1 yard line, but it wasn't Lendy Holmes.
No.
I promise you that.
Yeah, he should be salty. That's what the rivalry's all about.
Yeah.
And you lost?
Yeah. And then they ended up getting to go anyway. That was what's so bad. Oh, I wanted to see that Texas team play Florida for the national championship.
Yeah, man.
That was a really, really special team in 2008. It was a better team than the 2009 team. And, man.
Why couldn't Jordan Shipley come back from the ACL injury? MCL, was that bad?
Huh?
When Jordan Shipley went to the league and he tore his knee up. Why? It just, it just was, I don't know. Because obviously his legs was a big deal, but we see guys come back all the time. Not everyone's Adrian Peterson, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never talked to Ship about that. That was plus he was with the Bengals. The Bengals that's just not a team you want to they just don't get players. I mean, I feel sorry for Quan. Quan played for the Bengals and the Jaguars, and at the time the Jaguars were owned by this terrible owner who was cheap, and yeah. Some guys like Colt going to the Browns with Eric Mangini. Awful. Terrible. Awful. Sometimes you just get a bad draw on draft day. That was brutal.
Yeah, Mangini was really wilding.
Oh, God.
He was
off the rails. Off the rails, wilding.
Yeah, we'll take that. We'll stick with
wilding. He was wilding.
Oh, man.
You know what I mean?
That's kinda a little bit. Yeah.
But think about that 08 team. That 08 team had Chris Obanaya at running back. In 09, you had Nate Newton's kid, Trey Newton, who ended up having concussion issues. And, Trey Newton had like 500 yards rushing in 2009. Obanaya he could catch it, run it. Obanaya played in the league for a minute. And you had Quan and Jordan. In 09, you only had Jordan. And you had an unbelievable defense in 08. Now, you had an unbelievable defense in 09, but in 08, you had Roy Miller and Lamar Houston and Henry Melton and Sergio Kindle. And you get what I'm saying? Sam Acho. I mean, and yeah, that was the Will Muschamp era.
Yeah.
Roderick McElroy, Manuel Acho, Keenan Robinson, Earl Thomas, Aaron Williams at corner, Curtis and Shockey Brown,
Blake Gideon.
Leander,
Texas, baby. Leander's fun is playing for Pops.
The Leander Lions. Yeah. And Blake Gideon. They beat Blake Gideon beat out everybody. He started all 4 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that rumor that he might be coming back, is there anything to that? Because why would that be the case? I
don't really get that. I mean, their defensive numbers are about the same as they were the year before when Tyler Santucci was there, and then Santucci went to the NFL. They gave up a little bit more in the running game, but I mean, I wouldn't think that, Gideon would be in any kind of trouble, but I know there's been that rumor. I've been told it's rumors.
Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't make sense. Like, he took this job to run the show, and year one, yeah, it's going to be a learning process, but man, let the dude unpack the boxes to the crib. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, Texas can money whip Gideon. I mean, they can pay him more than what Georgia Tech's paying him. If Muschamp really wants him. So, never say never. Gideon played for Muschamp, but at this point, I've heard it's rumors. I mean, we've heard Muschamp is going to, coach the safeties and be the defensive coordinator. I don't know that is a long-term thing, but I do think there will be some more, like Chris Jackson's contract is up in February. So
yeah,
if, there's probably going to be a little more movement. But
before we get to the chip shot mentions, right call, et cetera, because we got Lance Taylor coming on 3:30, let me ask you this. Do you think Will Muschamp still has head coaching aspirations?
That part I don't know. If he does, this is the right move for him, because you go be the defensive coordinator for an offensive-minded head coach. You're going to get all the credit for whatever's happening on defense. And you heard Hummer say that, Muschamp hasn't called the defense for a bunch of years. Will Muschamp knows how to call a defense. I'm not worried about that. So, but if he does, then this is the right move for him, because he'll get all the credit for whatever is happening defensively. At Georgia, Kirby's always going to be the guy. And, Muschamp is going to be the secondary fiddle in that orchestra. So I think it'll be interesting.
Glenn Schumann.
Yeah.
He's third. Yeah.
Right. Glenn Schumann, you don't hear his name for head coaching jobs. And I don't know, he might be a great head coach candidate. But yeah, I've thought about that. It'll be interesting. Old Muschamp.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys who played for him, they love him. All right, let's get a couple mentions in here. We're going to have Lance Taylor join us at 3:30. And hey, this Christmas season, how about giving yourself the gift of good health? And Humann, the science-backed formulas that are designed to extend your life. All that research done at the University of Texas Health Science Center. Man, I am a collector of supplements no more, because I have found my supplement, and that is Humann with 2 N's. I'm going to show you these bottles right here because I want you to get all 3. The Humann Metabolic Health Daily, the Humann Cholesterol Health Daily, and the Humann Cardiovascular Health Daily. All of these formulas are sophisticated and designed to help you have healthy blood flow, healthy blood sugar, and healthy cholesterol. And you take those three together every day, you're going to feel better. And don't forget about the Super Beats Heart Chews, because look, if you've got any kind of blood pressure concerns, these Super Beats with the beet-based formula from Humann, which cardiologists recommend number one overall, it's going to help you regulate that blood pressure 2 times more effectively than just with diet and exercise. And don't forget about the turmeric chews that are going to help you with anti-inflammation. Here's what you do. You go to humanwith2ns.com/TSU and use the promo code TSU. You're going to get 20% off your first order. And I know a bunch of you have, put in orders, and you're smart. You should load up on that order because there's a 90-day money-back guarantee. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. I don't have any more brain fog. My body feels better. I played pickleball last night. I was kicking some serious butt. And I took my Super Beats sports powder 30 minutes before I went out on the court. Felt great. So get to humanwith2ns.com/TSU and use the promo code TSU. Get 20% off that first order. And hey, I want everybody as we head into the new year to take extra care of themselves, especially the fellas who are stubborn sometimes about going to get a physical, going to get their prostate checked. How about for my guys who are snoring? You take advantage of this incredible partnership that we have with the Sleep Cycle Center of Austin. Look, you're snoring. That could be a sign that you have sleep apnea, which is a lack of oxygen while you're sleeping. That's scary. And it can do serious damage. I mean, our guy, Dr. Chad Denman, founded the Sleep Cycle Center, has dedicated his life to treating sleep apnea because it killed his own father at the age of 60. So if you're snoring, it's more than just annoying to the person next to you. It could be a serious problem. Thanks to this partnership that we have with the Sleep Cycle Center, you go to sleepcyclecenters.com. Tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. They're going to take $100 off your sleep study. That sleep study is going to tell you if you have sleep apnea, what level of sleep apnea you have. And Dr. Chad has the best treatment options, including oral appliances like I have, a mouth guard that holds my lower jaw open while I sleep so that I get that great oxygen and my wife gets sleep. That's what it's all about. Go to sleepcyclecenters.com and tell them Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. Hey, Cover 3's got the holiday cheer. Head over to Cover 3. Hell, my son Tiger's working at Cover 3 Anderson tonight. So if you're heading over that way, look for my man Tiger Brown, and he'll take care of you. Great service, great food, high-end food without the high-end prices. That's what it's all about. You deserve that. Go check out the Sean Adams prime rib sandwich, Parmesan fries. Love it. Cover 3 Anderson, Cover 3 Round Rock. Don't forget about brunch on the weekends. Of course, you're going to get great food, great service, and be able to watch your favorite team. Dining Spirit Sports. And of course, while you're at Cover 3, you're probably going to see some big screens from AV Consultations. Our man Tom McKay, who makes it so easy. He's going to bring you the best price on big screens. All you got to do is call 255-8678. Tell him Texas Sports Unfiltered sent you. He's going to take care of you. From the free consultation to installation, Tom and his crew brings everything to you. You don't need to be lugging TVs around town, punching holes in your drywall. Just call 255-8678. It's beautiful. avconsultations.com. All right. For the chip shot today, I'll keep it tight. But yeah, this Citrus Bowl, we'll get into it a little bit more next week, but this is a big opportunity It's a big opportunity for young players to show what they've learned and get an opportunity as they go into spring football to show these coaches what they're about. Show Will Muschamp, your new defensive coordinator, what you're about. Again, 8 of Texas's 9 opt-outs are on defense. That's going to create opportunity for guys like Elijah Bo Barnes, the freshman linebacker who's played special teams, but now he's going to get a chance to show what he knows in terms of his assignments, his physical ability. People talk about his speed, his size. He's got some tools. Okay, let's see what it's all about. Because you heard Chris Hummer earlier in the show. If you missed it, make sure that you check out the podcast, because Texas is they're going to be in the portal looking for a linebacker. When you lose Anthony Hill Jr. and Leonga Lafau, you're going to look to bring in a veteran who's proven himself. But Bo Barnes can make a statement in this game, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a fun game for Texas fans to see the young guys. So it matters. This game matters. Believe it or not, it matters. It matters to those young players. And if you're into seeing what the young players can do, then it should matter to you. Now, if you're like, they're not in the playoff, I don't care, wake me up next August, so be it. That's good too. But let's get to the right call.
I love it. I love it. Let's get it. First, though, shout out to Covert Bee Cave, family owned and operated. Covert Bee Cave and the crew, they've been doing it for over 100 years, and they're the best. If you want to take my word for how great Covert Bee Cave is, listen to these wonderful folks of Covert Bee Cave.
I don't have to worry about shopping for mechanics to make sure it's done and done right. I come up here, I'm in, I'm out. They give me a loaner sometimes, and it's hassle-free.
If you have any questions, they'll go ahead and help you out and educate you. They're not just here just to sell you a vehicle. They're here to build a relationship.
They treat you like family, and then they make the experience what you want it to be, not what they want it to be.
Covert, born and raised in Austin,
where you are always treated like family.
Nobody beats a Covert deal. Not now, not ever. All right, Chip, before we get Lance Taylor on. So apparently, Ben Simmons, remember Ben Simmons, former #1 pick.
Can't shoot,
was a perennial all-star, and a lot of people were comparing him to the great LeBron James, and clearly it didn't work out that way. Well, Ben Simmons hung up the kicks and now got out the fishing pole because somehow, some way, he is becoming a professional fisherman. As you see here, he is holding a big-ass fish. I have no idea what kind of fish it is. For the folks on app listening, it's yellow and it's big as hell. So y'all let me know what kind of fish this is. But it looks like someone who's a fisherman will be proud of this accomplishment. I don't know. I don't fish very often. But, yeah, this is where Ben Simmons is at. And some people think that at his age, he should still be hooping, but dude can't shoot. In this era, analytics, we talked about it with Sean Miller, Texas basketball, what they're struggling with. And Ben Simmons, you can't shoot, and you want the ball in your hands.
Is he the most overrated player of the last 10 years?
No. Again, he was an all-star at one point. Man, at least twice, maybe 3 times. You know, the 76ers would get to the playoffs. They had that one year where they had a shot, the one Jimmy Butler season, and they lost 2019. They lost because of the Kawhi game winner where it hit every part of the rim and then went in. So after that moment, that was kind of it for Ben Simmons. And he had a little stint with Brooklyn, didn't work out. Had a little stint with the Clippers, didn't work out, and then he dealt with injuries too. But, yeah, I wouldn't call him most disappointed player. I think CB has it right here. It's probably Anthony Bennett. Anthony Bennett just why wasn't he a good basketball player? That's still one of those unknowns. But Ben Simmons, he had his time, dated Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner, whichever Jenner, I don't know. So he had a solid run with the ladies too, with the honeys. You know what I'm saying? That any man would consider a Hall of Fame career if you catch my drift. But when it comes to basketball, now he's a fisherman. Kudos to him. As long as he's happy, like, it could be worse. You could be like Delonte West out here. You know what I'm saying? It could be worse for sure. So good for Ben doing his thing. This is obviously a joke, but Steve Young felt motivated by Phillip Rivers, so much so I think he went on some radio show and said that he could play still at 64 years old. And it's like, Steve, I feel you. You were one of the greats. You were my dog, Southpaw, you know, huge shoes to fill, which they're coming out with a 49ers documentary, Chip. I don't know what it's on, what platform, but clearly the 49ers saw what Jerry Jones and the Cowboys put out on Netflix this past year. And I think in 2026, we're going to see a version of the 49ers. I don't think Netflix is involved, but all the legends, Rice, Montana, Ronnie Lott, Steve Young, they're all going to be a part of it. I don't think it's as long as the Cowboys was, because Jerry took up at least 4 episodes. I don't think they have all that. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good. It's very similar. And I'm very excited to see what that looks like. But yeah, Steve Young, he's kind of wilding. And I think he's joking, but still, he's motivated to get back out there, because that's what Phillip Rivers is doing, man. That's what he's doing. He's motivating everybody in different ways. Just making throws, putting on for his family, putting on for the children that he coaches.
He was dealing for a minute last night, and then the 49ers are like,
yeah, can somebody get a stop? Somebody get Christian McCaffrey on the ground? Can somebody guard George Kittle? Not allow my man Brock Purdy to do whatever the hell he wants?
How about Alfred Collins knocking that ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands?
Yo, he's had a good year. He's had a good year. Good for him.
Big AC, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
go ahead.
He holds the point of attack, man.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
Yeah. And think about his story, like going back to Pete Kwiatkowski, and, you know, it wasn't all bad for Pete Kwiatkowski, that development process, even though for some Texas fans, it might have taken longer than what we thought it was going to take. But Alfred Collins last year, he was dominant. He was a problem.
Vernon Broughton, too.
Yeah, like they were problems. And now looks like he's about to have a really solid NFL career. So Pete Kwiatkowski, he did some good things here at the 40, man.
Yeah, I wish the Lions would have taken Alfred Collins, because the Lions defense looks like a turnstile. Anyone, come on in. Go get you some yards. Go get you a first down. Oh, you want a 45-yard touchdown run? Yes, sir. Come on. We got a couple of those for my man. Yeah.
Jaylen Warren,
you get all you want. I mean, explosive touchdown after explosive touchdown. Who the hell's going to play quarterback for Minnesota now that J.J. McCarthy's out?
He's always hurt, man.
He's always hurt.
You can't be getting hurt like this. It's too early in your career. Like, you haven't even taken no hits yet.
Right. Let me see who's going to be playing quarterback for the Vikings when they beat my Lions.
Yeah. Poor Justin.
Max Brosmer. Because Carson Wentz is on IR. Carson Wentz is always hurt.
Oh, yeah, we knew that.
Oh, here you go. Congratulations to Bijan Robinson and Dicker the Kicker, selected to the Pro Bowl. Yeah. Dicker the Kicker, man. He's having a big year for them Chargers.
Yeah, you know Dicker is going to promote himself when it comes to the Pro Bowl, man. That's one of the funniest things in the league. And it's not like what he's promoting is false. Like, the dude could play. He's
Right.
one of the best kickers in the league, so he deserves this. Shout out to
He's
Bijan.
dealing. All right, let's bring in our SEC insider and prognosticator at lanceslock.com for some Merry Christmas conversation. LT, how you doing?
I am good, fellas. How are y'all?
Oh,
Good,
man.
LT. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays to y'all. I'm stuck in a shopping center. I had a meeting at the local bar restaurant, and I mean, I wish I could show y'all, like, it's absolutely insane gridlocked. And I didn't come up here to do anything. I don't know how I got baited into coming up here because I didn't need to buy anything. And yeah, I'm in the middle of it now.
Oh, man. I mean, I feel for anyone who's having to go out and get anything done starting now. I know people, I used to be one of these people. I used to wait till Christmas Eve to do everything, and I couldn't deal with it anymore. Couldn't deal with the people.
Yeah, I don't know what yeah, like buying online. I like supporting local and all that stuff, but buying online is like the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you recovered from the Rams loss?
I'm trying, Chip. Very, very difficult, because what's going to happen now is we're going to drop from a 1 to a 5 seed. I was hoping that Old Man Rivers could bail me out last night and put us back in a situation where San Fran loses to the Colts, and then, you know, there was a situation that then the Colts could, or excuse me, the 49ers could lose to the Seahawks and it would work back out. But now it all comes down. I've got to have the Seahawks lose to Carolina, which I don't think that's going to happen, but you never know. So no, it is, again, very unfortunate. It's like the best Rams team or second best Rams team I've ever seen, and they're going to end up getting a 5th seed, but they are still the best team in the NFL. I will stand by that.
Yeah. How do you feel about the 49ers right now, Lance? Because they're kind of creeping up.
They are, Zay. They scare me to death. Kyle Shanahan is such a freaking good coach. They've got no pass rush. They've got no Fred Warner. And they still, like the offense last night, I have no idea what was going on with that Colts defense. And unfortunately, Lance's lock, we gave out the Colts plus 5.5. And man, their offense, I thought, played well enough in the first half to, you know, not only cover, but to win the game. But that San Francisco offense is taken off, which is really crazy, because I don't know why. It's much like people still doubt Jalen Hurts. I still doubt Brock Purdy, you know, guys that have been in Super Bowls before. But San Francisco has gotten really, really good. And the crazy thing is they went out. If they beat Chicago next week at home, and then they ultimately beat Seattle in week 17, they're going to be the number 1 seed, which is just insane when you think about that. And Kyle Shanahan 100% should be the coach of the year, NFL coach of the year. I don't know if he'll be that guy, because, you know, you look around and Liam Cohen and Ben Johnson and, Mike Vrabel. There's been some incredible stories in the NFL this year, but San Francisco scares me. I mean, the NFC West is ridiculous when you look at the Rams, Seattle, and San Fran.
Yeah, what chance do you give the Bears to go out to San Francisco and beat the 49ers?
Low. But again, this is a Bears team that I continue to doubt. And I had the Pack plus 1.5 on Saturday night, and you guys saw how that worked out. That was, you know, a 10-point lead with 4.5 minutes to go in the NFL. I mean, that should be a win. And Caleb Williams makes an incredible play, and they get the onside kick. Romeo Dobbs, I don't know what he was doing on that, but man, I mean, Chicago, I know the Oklahoma Sooners, and I know we'll get to that game in a little bit, were wearing the hard to kill sweatshirts, and that's became kind of their motto. But the Chicago Bears, man, that is a hard to kill team.
Yeah. That I know that firsthand. My Lions are toast
They're toast. Toast. What a weird game, by the way. When Boswell missed that field goal, it went off the upright. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, Lions are gonna win.
Yeah, and the pass interference that wasn't a pass interference, I've never seen a call outside of the 2018 NFC Championship game with my Rams that got the benefit of the doubt on that call. But how that wasn't called, and then you get 2 offensive PIs to end it. I mean, crazy.
Awful. I'm still in mourning.
Yeah, I mean,
now I'm cheering for him to lose. I want him to get the last place schedule for next year.
You know what's so crazy, Chip, is like y'all's offense is so freaking good right now. Again, San Francisco's offense so good. I don't trust either one of their defenses. When we look at college football right now, and especially when you look at the quarterfinals, like these 8 teams, whoever wins this is going to be defensively.
Yeah.
These are great defenses right now in college football. And in today's era where everybody's scoring 35 plus, you would think that offense would win you a national championship, but it's going to be a defense in college football.
Yeah. Speaking of great defensive performances, Lance, and them versus Miami. Miami somehow goes to Kyle Field. The win was crazy. Both quarterbacks were mediocre, but Marcel Reed was worse and ended up costing the Aggies. Your thoughts on that game?
Man, it was crazy, Zay. When you've got more missed field goals through 3 quarters than you have total points, 4-3. Man, I just you look at what Miami has done defensively, as bad as that defense was last year, to where it is right now. It is completely dominant. They've got so much speed, and unfortunately for Marcel Reed, he shit the bed. 3 turnovers, and they couldn't manufacture anything, and I think the win was an issue in College Station. Great win for Mario Cristobal in Miami, and I do think Ohio State would have rather played Texas A&M, and I also believe that Texas A&M, the lack of a great schedule really ultimately affected them, because you guys saw what Texas was able to do in the final week of the season, and then obviously what Miami was able to do in the first round of the college football playoff. But I can't believe Marcel Reed played that bad, that poorly. But this Miami defense is next level good. But they are playing one team that on a bye I would not want to play, and especially with the mat on that Ohio State is going to have after losing to Indiana. And there's a reason Ohio State's a 10-point favorite. Like, I think this Miami defense is so legitimate. I don't think you can trust Carson Beck. I would assume Matt Patricia. In Ohio State, the focus is going to be Mark Fletcher. Let's shut him down, and we'll, if Carson Beck is able to beat us, so be it. But I don't think that's going to happen. Like, great season for Miami, finally getting to a college football playoff, winning a game on the road, but it's going to come to an end.
Yeah, I mean, as you look at it now, LT, Texas Tech against Oregon, Bama against Indiana, Ole Miss against Georgia, Miami against Ohio State. Any of those games you think the higher seeded team is threatened?
Well, I thought originally that Texas Tech would not walk. Texas Tech's really, really good. You guys know that. Baron Morton's kind of he'll be the key against that Oregon defense. I think the best thing, and this is so funny, and this is weird, and this is gambling terms for me, but the way JMU ended up playing in the second half and having these garbage points against Oregon, I think it really woke up Oregon's defense. Like, Oregon's defense is really legitimate. And now I've got people telling me, like, this Oregon defense is awful. Well, I don't think they really, they didn't really care what was going on. They were up 34-6 at halftime against JMU. They weren't going to lose the game. So they give up 194 yards in the fourth quarter, but it was all garbage time. And they still win the game going away. But what that did now is the public perception is Oregon's defense isn't good. So now Texas Tech, who's on this bye, is going to be able to win this game easily going away. So, like, public money is all over Texas Tech right now. I would have liked Texas Tech before Oregon played like they did in the second half, but I think Oregon's probably a pretty strong play. From that, it's kind of the same with Alabama. Alabama was dead and gone at 17-0. They come back, win the game going away. Now people are like, Indiana's in trouble. And I think it's a brand thing. You look at the Alabama brand, all these national championships. Indiana's won 10-plus games 3 times in their history. They finally, win a Big Ten championship. If they were any other uniform outside of Indiana, I think people would have a different feel on this game. But nobody believes Indiana can win this game. And there's a reason they're a 7-point favorite. I'm telling you now, Indiana will beat Alabama. And I've got every Alabama fan telling me from a week ago that Kalen DeBoer wasn't the guy, and this team and the offense was broken, to all of a sudden, because they played a great final 3 quarters, they're going to win this game. I don't see it.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah.
If somehow Alabama were to win the game, Lance, what has to happen?
Well, I think they got to get to Mendoza. They were really good at that with Mateer. I mean, they had 5 sacks. That defensive line, the front 7 played extremely well. They can't run the football. Like, it doesn't matter. They had their longest run from scrimmage since week 2 against Oklahoma, and they still only ran for 22 yards, I think it was. So they're not going to be able to run the football. I think it would be getting to Mendoza and then Ty Simpson play lights out. Ty Simpson's playing at a great level right now, but they're so one-dimensional. And special teams benefited Alabama this past week. I was shocked. Tate Sandell, a guy that doesn't miss kicks, hits his 24th consecutive kick on his first and then misses back-to-back kicks. And then Connor Talty, a guy that you can't trust, was 2 for 2 on field goals. Oklahoma had the drop punt that Tim Keenan returned, or not returned, but jumped on, that led to points there. And, they had the pick 6. I mean, everything really broke right for Alabama after they were down 17-0. But if Ty Simpson, goes on a heater and Alabama is able to sack Mendoza 4 or 5 times and they win the turnover battle, maybe. But I had somebody this morning telling me, man, it's a bunch of 2 and 3 stars against Alabama's 5 stars. And I'm like, you haven't watched this team. Like, this team, and I know there's the perception SEC is so much better than the Big Ten. And I think the entire body of the SEC is better. But Indiana went on the road to Iowa, a team that lost 4 games by 1 possession to ranked teams. They won that game. They went on the road to Altstadt, beat Oregon by double digits after they had won 20 consecutive home games. They beat Indiana in a, conference championship game. I just think this is a much different Indiana team than we've seen in the past.
Yeah. Who do you have winning it all?
I had Georgia, but the more I look at people's brackets, it scares me, Chip. I probably would change that to Ohio State. I think the winner of Ohio State, Georgia, will ultimately win the whole thing.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the Texas hire and Muschamp?
I thought it was an interesting hire. I didn't see that coming at all, but I think it shows you that Sarkisian is really comfortable where he is right now. Such a weird finish to the Texas year. Like, I think if Texas was in this college football playoff, they'd make noise. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I agree.
Damn.
Yeah, I think Texas is better than Alabama right now. They're better than Miami. They're better than both Oregon and Texas Tech, I think. They're better than Ole Miss. I mean, Texas probably would be like the 4th best team in this thing right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, look, I thought the hire was solid. Like, if Muschamp is – like, I don't know where he is in his career, but if he's like, I'm cool with being a defensive coordinator, making really, really good money right now as a DC, and, that's kind of where I am in life. I think it's a great hire.
Lance, what you got for us? LanceLock.com.
Well, we've got winners. Hopefully we do. I'll try to be transparent with you guys. I have Toledo. They were down 7-3. They had it looked like they were down to the 1-yard line. It looked like they were about to take the lead. They missed a chippy field goal. Then Louisville goes down. I think Louisville got the ball back. The last I saw it was 14-3. But we've got 2 more games up and available today. We've got action all weekend. College hoops, NBA, everything for Christmas Day, multiple NFL games. So we've been killing it this year. We continue to kill it. Jump on board. Free play up and available every day at lanceslock.com.
Louisville is leading Toledo 21-11.
Okay, I'm still in this. I'm catching 8.5.
Still in it, baby.
How many minutes we got left? Like 8, 9?
We got 10:42 left.
Perfect. Setting up for a backdoor. I love it.
Oh, yeah. And Toledo has the ball.
Okay, so I've got to ask you guys this. Favorite Christmas movie? Because I am so different from everyone on these. Because I will give you guys a handful of movies right now that you can go home, pour a bourbon, eat an edible, sit back and watch, and you will absolutely love.
I know you're gonna say Elf.
Nope.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then give me your list.
Okay, I'll give you my list. So my go-to tradition has become the number one Christmas movie, and I've got a really close number 2 that I watched again last night. But the number 1 is Bad Santa with Billy Bob Thornton. It is, and say I know it's bad, but like my kids are like, oh shit, this is like legit. I've probably seen Bad Santa 20 times, but I watch it every Christmas Eve. I did watch it last week with the kids again, but I watch it again in a couple of nights. Bad Santa's number 1. Office Christmas Party with Jason Bateman, TJ Miller, Jennifer Aniston is number 2. And I was laughing my ass off last night watching that. And I've probably seen it, 10 times. Number 3, movie called The Ice Harvest. It's with Billy Bob Thornton and John Cusack and Randy Quaid, Connie Nielsen. It's got mob ties, and it's a comedy, dark comedy, and it takes place in Wichita, Kansas. Those are my top 3 for you.
Ice Hearts.
The Ice Harvest.
Ice Harvest.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm with you on Bad Santa and Office Christmas Party. Those are epic.
Oh, so good.
Ice Harvest, I'm gonna check out.
And then I do consider, hey, look, I know I'm in the minority. I think Die Hard is a Christmas movie. Nakatomi Plaza, I mean, it's Christmas Eve. It goes into Christmas Day. It's a Christmas movie. I like Die Hard a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my go-tos is Four Christmases. Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon.
Zay, I like it. I watched it last week with the kids. My only problem with it is it drags a little bit. And I like Vince Vaughn, but man, he is so freaking over the top, and there's so many over the top moments in it. But it's got great, specific scenes in it. Yeah. So Four Christmases probably would make a top 10 for me.
Yeah, the same with Favreau and Tim McGraw.
Yeah,
that gets me every time.
I love it. Well, LT, we appreciate you jumping on as you're stuck in Christmas traffic. We hope that you have a great Christmas, and let's do it again next week.
Yeah, we will do that. I was going to tell you guys, so I'm going to see the Rams are in Atlanta, which is only a 2-hour drive. So I'm going to see them next Monday night, and then I fly out the next morning to go to the Rose Bowl. So I'll be out there all week. So whenever you guys want to have me, we'll be covering Alabama, Indiana. We can get into, all of the quarterfinal matchups. But, yeah, I'll be available all next week.
Look at you going back to the Rose Bowl, you lucky dog.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's – it's a pain in the ass getting in and out. The logistics suck. It's an archaic venue, but there's something so special about that place. And I just think it's going to be so lit up because Indiana never being there before. And now I think twofold. I think Indiana being the 1 seed with the Heisman Trophy winner, they're all going to flock there. Alabama fans did not go to Norman, but Alabama fans now believe they're not only going to go to the Rose Bowl, but win the game. So I think it's going to be like a perfect storm of great fan bases, and next week should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's when Lance and I first met 16 years ago.
Yeah.
At the Texas Bama National Championship in the Rose Bowl 09 season.
What would have happened if Colt McCoy doesn't?
Oh, man.
Here we go. Hey, LT, God bless you. We'll talk to you from Pasadena next week.
Yeah. Y'all have a Merry Christmas. Love you guys, and I will talk to y'all next week.
Love you too.
Right. Everybody head over to lanceslock.com for the picks. All right. You ready to make some picks, Zay?
Oh, let's go.
I'll just start it off. I don't even know who's playing quarterback for the Vikings. Give me the damn Vikings.
Okay.
Plus 7.5 at home against the Lions.
Damn.
I need the Lions to lose. I need them to get a last place schedule for next year because clearly this first place schedule did not treat the Lions well.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Give me the 49ers over the Bears at -3. I like what I saw last night. My man Dog. One thing about Brock Purdy, him having that injury, ironically, early in the season, everything else is healthy. He hasn't been getting hit much. Like, he's good making this stretch run. And they look good last night. Yeah, give me San Fran.
You know what? Give me the Carolina Panthers at home against the Seahawks, plus 7.5.
Okay.
I think the Seahawks could win this game, but I like the way the Carolina Panthers are playing.
Yeah, shout out to Bryce Young, man.
Yeah.
It was rough. It was rough at the beginning, but
it was rough.
Doing his thing.
It was rough.
Yeah, I got to go against Quinn Ewers, man. They're throwing my man Quinn to the Wolves. They're throwing him to the Wolves. And Buccaneers, they need that game. They are desperate. They trying to get in. Give me Tampa Bay -5.5.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about the Quinn Ewers experience. He got off to a nice little start, and then it avalanched on him.
Yeah, he's got to know his personnel. He threw a 50-50 ball to Jalen Waddle. He don't want that smoke. Jalen Waddle's not a 50-50 ball guy. That led to an interception. So not on Quinn, but it was on Quinn.
You know what? Give me the Buffalo Bills. -1.5 at home against the Philadelphia Eagles.
Ooh.
Let's go, Josh Allen. It's go time.
A lot of people had that Super Bowl before the season started. Still can be a thing, but I don't know. We'll see. Last but not least, I'm gonna go with give me the Chargers -2.5 over your Texans.
What?
Yeah. Herbie, Quentin Johnston, that one-handed catch that he had against Dallas, that told me everything I needed to know. That's the dude that we saw in Fort Worth that last year that helped lead his team to a national championship appearance. That's finally. And Lattimore.
That guy's finally come to life for my my rookie dynasty league.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was on your dynasty team.
It took 2 freaking years, but it's happening.
That's okay. Sometimes guys, it takes a little bit.
Same with Roma Dunze.
Yeah.
I mean, not as good as DJ Moore, but Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody. When Zay and I join you once again next Monday, I'll be in Orlando, and we will give you blanket coverage of the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl.
Yeah. All I know, they better not pour the Gatorade shower with the Cheez-Its on it on Sark. That'd be so weak. We need Chris Del Conte, somebody to nip that in the butt before we even get a chance. This shouldn't even be in this game. I get it. That sounds fun. But all those other teams that have done it in the past, they ain't Texas. So let's.
What do they do? They put the Cheez-Its in the Gatorade.
Yes, and then they pour the cheeses. They do it in They do it with the Pop-Tarts. They do it with the French fries. They do it with the disgusting Duke's mayo. All these bootleg-ass bowls, they do that. No, Texas, you're bigger than that. I better not see that happen. I'm telling you.
Okay. All right. I see Patrick and Matt laughing at you, so let's bring them in. Look at Matt. I should have worn my my Christmas sweater. Of course, it's a picture of Amon-Ra and Jared Goff. Santa hats, so couldn't do that. But
yeah, it's you got to get in the holiday spirit, man.
Yeah.
75 degrees outside.
Yeah.
I'm already sweating in this thing, and I put it on 5 minutes ago. But it's cool though. It's got a couple of deer on it, drinking beers. Perfect for open gym, open bar.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Christmas.
We'll see you Monday.
Have a good Christmas.
Cheers.
Merry Christmas, you guys. Welcome in to Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patrick Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on that side. And, of course, you, the third member of Open Gym. Text line's open 512-222-9328. And, of course, over there on the chat, Facebook, Twitch, X, and on YouTube. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I know we're on the home stretch before the holidays, so appreciate you guys sticking in there with us. Hopefully, y'all will have off the next couple of days for Christmas Eve, or we'll have schedules or whatever else, so we appreciate you hanging out with us down that home stretch on the run to Christmas. But, man, yeah, we're officially – we're a couple days away from it now. You've gotten all your shopping done? You've gotten all you're dressed for it. You are ready for Christmas. You're not behind it anyway.
I'm ready, man. We're heading up to the Woodlands tomorrow to spend Christmas with my girlfriend and her family, and just a nice chill, not a ton of people, just nice and relaxed Christmas. It's going to be a good time.
There you go. That's not too bad to do there. So I'm curious, and I want to ask this for everybody in the chat and the text line as well. This could be music. This could be movies. It could be TV shows. It could just be something you do with your family. I'm curious what your Christmas traditions are. Christmas traditions are, because, I like hearing some of these. Some of them are really interesting. Some of them are always fun to hear because they're a little weird. There's something that started, a long time ago, and they've just been kept going. I don't have too many personally. I think, we had more when I was growing up, and then I just became in my own world. I go up and spend Christmas with my family. That's about as far as I go with any of it. I don't have any movies I watch every year or anything I listen to. Like, just kind of listen to it. It's like I listen to the South Park album probably every Christmas at some point. I listen to all of them at some part, the South Park Christmas album at some point in there, but not a ton of others. So let me know if you guys have any Christmas traditions that you enjoy doing with your families or by yourselves or whatever you do.
Well, my Christmas tradition, I think my favorite one is the breakfast casserole that my mom makes. It's like eggs and sausage and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
We've had it every year. It's phenomenal. It's one of my favorite things. And then outside of that, like, we don't really have it. But tamales on Christmas is always a staple. But we don't. I can't really think of too many others that we have. We usually go to my brother's house on Christmas Eve or something like that. But we're pretty low key over at the Galatzan house. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, I think it's pretty low key. You get there, I'll get to the house, and then you have my brother and the kids, and then the rest of the family shows up, which is just basically my uncles now. But then we do the stockings, and then you open presents and you eat your food. I do, like, my mom has a printed out list of like on an Excel spreadsheet of the exact time for everything on Christmas. which is it actually works because it's like, you're like, okay, this is, so we know when we're going to open presents. So in kids, that's what this is. And it's like, okay, now it's time to put this in the oven. And now it's time to put this. So You're never behind because you're always
Yeah.
kind of behind on these holidays. You're trying to figure it out. So you don't have to stress about it, about are we going to get this in time? So I like it. And then every year you have to be like, all right, Mom, where are we at on the schedule? Let me see the schedule. Let me see where we're at so I can help you get through this.
Yeah, so here's my question. I have a good one for you, Patrick, actually. And this is a debate that I had with a buddy of mine while we were having beers last week. And I never really thought about it because it just, seems pretty straightforward, but like the Santa Claus debate.
Yeah.
How did your family do Santa Claus? Like, was it, you'd come downstairs and your big present from Santa Claus was just unwrapped by the tree, or were Santa Claus's presents wrapped, or were all of your big presents from your parents and then Santa Claus did your stocking? Because for me, it was our big presents from Santa Claus were unwrapped by the tree, and my parents didn't take credit for those.
Okay. No, definitely everything was wrapped. I feel like, and I can't remember fully off the top of my head. I feel like there was you get a present from Santa every year, maybe two, but I don't think they were the biggest ones. I don't think they gave up the biggest ones. I think they would give a different one. And then I remember as we got older, those would transition into I would get something from a Spurs thing and it would say from Tim Duncan. So it would not be from Santa anymore, but it would be from somebody on the team or whatever else. So it would transition a little bit to make that smooth transition. But yeah. And Joe, the one present at midnight, well, we wouldn't go to midnight mass. We're not a very religious family, but we would, the night before, my mom would have a picked out present that was basically, this will occupy them for the next 3 to 4 hours until they go to bed. And then they're probably never going to play with it again. But here's something that's not that expensive that'll get them off of us for a few hours so we can finish wrapping presents or finish getting stuff ready for tomorrow morning. So they would do that. It's over the top. It's all in all. It was we get the little thing on New Year's Eve. But yeah, I don't think we got necessarily we definitely didn't have anything unwrapped. Everything was wrapped because we also didn't do presents in the morning. We would wait until the entire family showed up and then all the presents got put under, and then we do. This is the thing that frustrates me is I'm 41 years old now, and I still get asked to give the presents out. And I'm when I was a kid, I had to start giving the presents out. But for some reason, this has not passed on to my brother's kids. For whatever reason, they have gotten away scot clean from just sitting there and getting they just sit there and I'm no. This is a rite of passage. They have to hand out the presents to everybody now. Yeah. We are now. I do not want to be getting up and down and going out and handing them. I'm good with it. I don't need many I don't really need any. I'm happy to be here and hang out. Not trying to be greedy, but I'm always there was always be the years they're you'd be hey, can you open the presents? I'm we had to do this when we were kids. I guarantee we had to do this when we were kids. We had to be the one to hand out presents and then you do the whole trying to make sure you get one present kind of hidden in the back of the tree, so you have the last present to open. It's a battle always. So you have to, you're just handing out everybody else's presents so it can be focused on you for a little bit. But that would be the way to do it.
Yeah, we were always kind of when we were kids, it was always kind of a Santa Claus came, but everything's not ready yet, so you have to wait upstairs until everything's ready, which was really adult translation for we didn't put the presents out last night, we got to put all the presents out this morning and you guys have to wait upstairs.
Yes.
And it worked out pretty well. I still do the present handing out too, man. I'm 38 years old. Granted, last year it was just me, one of my sisters, and my parents. So I was the youngest there, but still, come on, we can all do it together.
I get if I was still the youngest. There are two children who are both over 10 years old. I think 10 years old is all right. If they're 6, you don't want them to do it because they may break something or whatever else. But they're both, they're getting older. They can do it now. They can do it. I'm pretty sure.
Heavy lifting.
Make them do the bending and all of those things
Yeah,
that I
my
don't want
back
to do.
hurts too much.
I don't want to sit up and I want to just sit down and enjoy a nice cold Lone Star and, and enjoy my Christmas beer is all I want to do there on a Christmas. But it'll be a lot of fun. So throw those in the chat if you're hanging out with us and having a good time with us here on a holiday weekend. Isa, Texas, I'm guessing you're behind us. We have not even talked about Texas football yet. So we'll get into that. We will get into some Texas football. We'll get into Michigan. Seen the first round of opt-outs for Michigan. So we've seen a few names and a few bigger names in the Michigan opt-outs for the Citrus Bowl. So I want to get into that a little bit as we continue on. A little bit talk about how that may change up the Texas offense for Texas in this Citrus Bowl. Get into that a little bit. We've still got to make our picks for this weekend, Matt. We may do our NFL power rankings, talk a lot more about the NFL, all the other good stuff we'll get into today. But starting off with a little college basketball talk, Texas did win last night against Maryland Eastern Shore, 94-71, but it was not the game you wanted to watch. Texas did not play very good basketball. And Matt, this falls back into, is this Texas team going to be wildly undisciplined all season long? Or is there a turning point where they can start to figure this out? Was this just man, Christmas break's right around the corner. We got flights coming up in the next couple days. We're going to be taking off, and where our brain wasn't in the game. Our mind wasn't there. We were focused on other things, so we didn't get there. Or was this just, again, Sean Miller for the umpteenth time this season coming out and saying we suck without, fixing us sucking? And I get you can't fix it overnight. I get all that. But I'm tired of people saying he's a good coach because he's telling us they're bad. I saw that post and I'm like, this is the third time he's done it. He doesn't get a pass anymore. Just go like, well, we didn't play defense again. I'm like, start benching guys. Start putting in the walk-ons. I don't care. You have to do something because these guys aren't trying on defense. Don't play Jordan Pope so much. Don't play guys who don't play defense anymore then. You have to be able to try something if they're not putting out effort defensively. And I get you can't because you'll lose every game because you have nobody who can play offense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what the answer is if I'm being completely honest. You got the team that you got.
Yeah.
And maybe you do some stuff in practice that kind of, kicks their butts into gear on the defensive side of the floor. But at a certain point in time, you are what you are. And we're 13 or 14 games into the season. Is that right?
Yeah, we're Texas is now 8-4, so 12 games in.
12 games into the season. So you're a third of the way through the season, more or less. You are what you are. And that's going to be frustrating, but just sitting there to the media and complaining about it isn't going to fix anything. So 13 games.
Yeah.
Sitting there with the media and complaining about it's not really going to do a whole hell of a lot for me. You either fix it or you don't. And how do you fix it? Well, Jordan Pope, unfortunately, is your best offensive player. Ish, I guess.
He can run the offense better than Simeon Wilcher, and Wilcher keeps getting into foul trouble. Wilcher ends up with only 2 personal fouls last night, but Jordan Pope runs the offense better. He did have 21 points last night as well.
Yeah, and I think a big key to this also hinges on Tremont Mark. You know, how does he continue to progress? How can he help you defensively and those kinds of things? But I think that the biggest change defensively you can make is, getting Cam Heide and other bench energy guy whose name is escaping me at the moment. Kendall Weaver. You have to get them more involved. They can't just be these, luxury or boutique players for you.
Yeah.
They have to have an impact on that end of the floor. So you have to figure out how they're going to have an impact on that end of the floor. I don't know how you do it though, Patrick. I really don't, because it seems like this team just is what it is.
It does. Here's Sean Miller last night after the game, once again talking about the defense.
It was our worst performance of the season. And when I say that, I'm leaning heavily towards the defensive end. We have to be able to be better. Everybody uses the words, the standard. We have one. And when it's not met, it's not just okay. Like, didn't meet it tonight, guys. At some point from an accountability, me as a coach, our staff, individual players, this deal's about getting better. And I've just never seen a team that you say, man, they play with amazing effort and they're selfish. It sounds funny. So I think when you're an unselfish group, you're able to give more of yourself. You're able to be a better overall defensive team. You're able to play with more intensity. And you're able to take some of these things that I'm talking about out of the game. And for us to have a chance to be successful moving forward, this is an area we have to always be able to put a check in the box. The other coach and the other team, they're trying to do the same thing. If nothing else, it's a stalemate. Both teams fought. Both teams played hard. But I thought tonight our effort was kind of up and down, and it really reflected on the defensive end.
There was Sean Miller after the game. And that's the thing, is so much of defense is effort. If it was something of you played against a really good offensive team and you played against some of these teams that, I get they're going to score points on you, then fine. Like, I get it. That's a different part of, we don't have the personnel. But the fact that your team is wildly undisciplined all through non-conference, like, does not show up for every game, doesn't really seem to be practicing, doesn't seem to be like playing hard on the defensive end of the basketball, even though you have, Tremont Mark and Dalen Swain, who should be leading with their defense. You have Modest Voigatitis, who's a 7-footer who can actually play pretty well if he doesn't get in foul trouble. By the way, he fouled out last night. Like, guys, like, you have to be able to get a better defensive effort out of some of these guys. You have to get Jordan Pope to try harder on defense, be a pest on the defense, but he doesn't seem to really want to be that guy. So you kind of just have these, they can just switch. And when you go into man, they just switch on you over and over again. And it is, as much as Miller keeps getting upset about it, I get it. And I see people like, Sean Miller's this and that. I'm like, it's great. He's not getting these players to play as well as they need to. And I get that I'm not judging Sean Miller's tenure at Texas in the first non-conference, first 13 games. I'm not doing that. However, I am saying so far, he has been a worse coach than Rodney Terry and Shaka Smart. I'm hoping that will change. But right now, he's getting less out of his players than those guys got out of their players. And that's disappointing. He didn't necessarily get us a big recruit. He didn't get us anything. So I'm held off right now. I'm hoping, my hope is that Sean Miller's track record comes through. But him constantly coming out and being like, these guys aren't trying hard enough. I'm like, yeah, that's why we're paying you $1 million to make them try harder. So I don't want to, it's falling on deaf ears for me right now because it's the third time he's come out and said that we're not trying hard enough on defense. We're not practicing hard enough. We're not trying hard enough. We're not focusing enough. We're not doing that. And I can't, like, what do you want me to say at that point? Either, well, we got to fire Chris Ogden. I know his kid's coming in, but clearly he's a bad scout of talent or character because he brought these people in, or we got to get Sean Miller to start lighting into these guys. I don't know what it is, but it's extremely frustrating to watch you play against the middle Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks and look like a team who's not going to win an SEC game. I know you'll win some because you will focus sometimes, but like I need Sean Miller to stop coming out after games and be like, well, we sucked again. Like, yeah, I know, we all watched it. So just come out and go, we need to play better defensively. But the whole, I don't, it just drives me nuts. It's driving me nuts because everybody hated the other coaches for doing it. And they love Sean Miller for it. And that's probably driving me more nuts than Sean Miller, is that he's getting a huge pat on the back for coming out and saying that the team's not playing well and not fixing it.
Well, I think that the team makeup obviously has something to do with that.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're trying to implement a completely different scheme offensively and defensively than you were under Rodney Terry. But motivation and effort is a coach's responsibility.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out a way to get the most out of your players. You haven't done that consistently through the first 13 games. So what do? Maybe you bench somebody. Maybe you make an example out of a player who you think is, giving you the best example of lack of effort on the defensive end of the floor. And you say, no, you're going to sit down or you're going to come off the bench or you're just not going to play at all.
Yeah.
And you obviously you get after them in practice and things like that, but you have to do some things that are going to motivate these players. I don't know what that is. Obviously the recruiting has gone okay with him. I mean, he got Austin Gooseby, he got Ogden.
Yeah.
But that doesn't help you right now. So
by the way, I'm not mad at his recruiting. Austin Gooseby's a good pickup. I like all those other players. They could be good players for us. None of them are remotely getting us to where we have a chance to be a top 4 team in the SEC.
Right.
Until we get some of those really good players, we're a bottom half of the SEC team. And that's why I'm not thrilled about it.
So you have to take some drastic measures to motivate your team. And if you can't figure out a way to do that, then I don't really know what to tell you, because that is your job as a head coach first and foremost, is to get your team ready to play. And it just doesn't seem like they're ready to play like they were ready to play against North Carolina State. They seemed like they were ready to play against Duke and UConn, but they weren't ready to play against, and probably against Arizona State as well. But they weren't ready to play against Virginia. They haven't been ready to play against a lot of these, non-exciting matchups like Maryland Eastern Shore or whatever the Rainwater guy,
Rainwater from Lemoyne.
Yeah, Lemoyne. Like, you're not getting your guys really ready in those games, and you need to do it on a consistent level. Like, would the best teams in America come out and dominate those teams?
Yeah,
and then the walk-on at the end of the bench gets to get in and have the crowd cheer for him because they put a really good effort in and got up by 40. And this team's not doing that.
No, and it is, when Chan says it on the text line, is he telling us that this is not his team and we're going to suck? Yeah, pretty much. I think that he keeps throwing in stuff like he's getting Tremont Mark to be better, and that's great. But like, at what point are we supposed to pretend that this team's going to be ready? Because next, Dalen Swain will be ready by mid-February. And then, maybe we get one other player by March. Like, this team needs to be way more ready than they are right now. I get the Duke game. That's fine. That's first game of the season. You have problems. I'll even take the Arizona State. Is that somehow invitational? I'll take that. The Virginia game's been acceptable. And then a lot of these no good teams that you're supposed to trounce and supposed to be able to just get practice in on were games that you had to play guys way more minutes you wanted to. You couldn't let guys like Nick Cody and Daru and other guys that you like to get some run in there actually play, because you're trying to play your top guys because you're constantly struggling. It's very frustrating so far that, just everything so far for Sean Miller has been a grade of a D for me. It has not been good to start off. It's a very incomplete grade because we're 13 games in. We haven't played SEC play. We haven't given him a full season. He hasn't got his full recruiting staff, a full off season. He hasn't been able to go to the transfer portal and get who he wants. I'm there with you. I still have hope that Sean Miller's track record will come through and he will be able to step up. And next season, we'll see a better step towards what we're going to see in the Sean Miller era. It's disappointing that we're basically guessing and hoping that that's going to happen, because so far we have seen nothing of good basketball yet from this team. Like, we have not seen this team be good yet, where we look and go, oh, like where they play 2-3 games in a row and we start to get excited. Like, this is a team that probably won't be in the top 25 all season long. This is a team who right now it looks like they're going to miss the tournament. And I just want the same energy that we've had. I guess first season, but I'd like some same energy that maybe it's not just the Rodney Terrier or wasn't just Shaka Smart, and maybe there's bigger issues with Texas basketball we need to address and try and figure out. And there needs to be more funding in there. And there needs to be other things happening there, because right now it's bleak for watching these games, because I don't like having to watch a game that I don't want to watch. And it's too close, but not close. Not a good game. It's just bad basketball, and guys not trying, and balls hitting the bouncing off of rebounds. Like, that's effort. Balls are not supposed to bounce back out to the 3-point line so somebody hit a 3 on you. That's not supposed to happen. If it happens once a game, it's fine. If it starts happening more and guys are getting second chance points on it, it drives you insane. So all of that stuff is effort stuff, and he just has to figure that out going into next year, because non-con's over. You can't say, well, we need to fix this and we need to fix that. You're playing in the SEC now, and those problems need to start getting picked up.
Well, look, obviously this is not the ideal start that everybody wanted, especially when you consider the hype that came in surrounding Sean Miller. Like, oh, this coach that did amazing things for Arizona and before that and all this stuff. You think that he's the guy that's going to turn your program around and all those things. And to Patrick's credit, he was cautiously optimistic and not overly optimistic. And I was overly optimistic because I thought this was going to be a good basketball team because I believed in Sean Miller. Here's what I hope this is. I hope this is the 2021 Texas football team.
I do too.
Who got their butts kicked by Arkansas and were really disappointing, showed lack of effort to the point where Bo Davis had to get on the team bus and light into everybody, and it went viral.
Yeah.
The problem is I don't know that Sean Miller has anybody on his staff that can help him do these kinds of things, because it's a much smaller staff with basketball, for one. But I mean, you brought this guy in to be an alpha dog and to do things differently. So you hope that this year gives him kind of a springboard to say, all right, now you've seen what this is when I don't get everything that I want and the kinds of players that I want in the portal. You need to let me get what I want, and you need to help me go get the guys that I think are a good fit for what I want to do, like Sark did from 2021 to 2022 and then beyond. Hopefully they'll let him do that. I don't know if they will or not, because they don't prioritize basketball the same way they prioritize football.
No, and they're going to be spending a bunch of money in football, so it's going to be difficult. But yeah, it's just disappointing. It's disappointing for the beginning of the season. The non-con was very disappointing for Texas basketball. So I'm hoping that we move forward, we move in the right direction, that this is the beginning, and it's just a more difficult beginning than we thought it was going to be. But then he'll start to turn it around, and we'll get going in the right direction. It doesn't feel like it's going to be this year, though. So that's disappointing, to say the least. It is what it is. So I'm still cautiously optimistic about where we could end up in the next 2 to 3 years. But yeah, I don't need to hear Sean Miller come out and complain about his team's effort anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't want to. I want to hear. Here's what I want to do. I want to see somebody leak a footage of. I agree, CB. I want to see somebody leak footage of him ripping into him, and you can hear it down the hallway at the Moody Center. I'm fine with that. Lay into your players. I'm fine with that. There's not. I mean, Modest Boykatitis is probably the only guy that you really don't want to transfer at this point.
Yeah, everybody else
is guys, like, your seniors. Everybody else, you're like, you love to keep them. I'm not saying you don't want to keep a Simeon Wilcher or a Nick Cody or a Daru or any of these. I'm not saying you don't want to keep any of those guys, but really, most of these guys, you're trying to get them better. You're trying to get them to have any shot at future playing basketball. Dalen Swain's been a disappointment this season. I thought we thought Dalen Swain was going to be a better player coming from with Sean Miller, and he just hasn't even really fit into the system. So, and knowing CB, the ticket prices were actually up last night. I think it's because everybody was out of school, so a lot more kids came out. So a lot more families and stuff on a Tuesday night. I think that's why you had a bigger crowd, or a Monday night, you had a bigger crowd. Because I was looking at tickets, and I was like, these are a little bit more expensive than I thought they'd be. I thought these would be like Lemoyne with the $3 or $4 tickets just roll down there that night. I'm like, all right. Not paying $35 to go watch this game, which I'm glad I didn't, because I sat and watched it at home, and it was just as annoying than if I would have been there. But we'll be positive. We'll go forward. We'll be positive about it. But yeah, that one was disappointing to watch last year for sure. Matt, wanted to get into a little bit of Texas football too, and the Citrus Bowl that is coming up. We'll have a few days to talk about it when we come back next week, but we'll be off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for Christmas. So we did get our first report. I got 3 names. Matt, is this what you have too, of Michigan opt-outs so far that we have heard that Biff over there in Michigan has said that these are the 3 guys so far who have opted out because they're all planning to go to the NFL. So that is why they've opted out. There's always sometimes more opt-outs. We haven't heard about transfer portal opt-outs or anything else from Michigan. There usually are more of those, but those feel like kind of like at Texas too. Some of those may be ongoing conversations of, is there an IL to pay these guys to show up so we can have a big win or whatever else. But the 2 big names you're going to notice, so one of them is Giovanni El Hadi. That is a guard for them. He's a decent guard for them. but it's not even a tackle for them. So it's a decent notice that he's going to be gone, but probably not wildly groundbreaking that he will not be there. They'll be able to fill in that hole somewhat, you figure, on the offensive line. The two big names, what do you say?
Well, I was just going to say, obviously, guard can play a major factor in the way your offensive line plays. You've watched the Texas Longhorns this year, so maybe it's a bigger deal than we think.
It could be. You're definitely right. You're 100% right. But the two bigger names that you would see are Derek Moore and Jayshon Barham. So Derek Moore leads the team in sacks with 10 this season. Barham has 4 sacks. Those are number 1 and number 2 in sacks for Michigan this year. The next guy on the list is 2.5. So most of their pass rush will not be here in this game. That doesn't mean they don't have young guys who could be good pass rushers. It doesn't mean they're going to open up blitzing opportunities for other guys who can pass rush. It doesn't mean they can't pass rush still. But it does mean the NFL level pass rushers will not be in the game in the Citrus Bowl, Matt. And it changes a little bit of the outlook for the game for Michigan now, because now we get to sit and say, this feels like Texas maybe gets a little bit more wiggle room.
Yeah. This is great news for Arch Manning. I can tell you that, because both of those guys are very, very good football players. I mean, I felt pretty confident that in Brandon Baker and Trevor Gooseby with those matchups. But at the same time, if you want to keep Arch Manning up and healthy, the best recipe for that is to take the pass rushers out of the game. Well, how do you do that? You block them pretty well, but now you don't even have to worry about it. You can put some younger guys in there at a certain point of the game, especially if it gets out of hand. You can keep Arch Manning upright. You don't have to worry quite as much about him getting hit, which has been a major issue for him this year, is taking hits. We want Arch Manning to take the least amount of hits as humanly possible in this football game. So hopefully he has clean pockets, and when he has clean pockets, you know that he can dissect you pretty heavily. So this is really good news for the Texas offense for sure.
I see that, Joe. They are having some fights over there. Toledo and Louisville, showing us what bowl games are all about. Still getting into scuffles on the sideline.
Hell yeah.
Way to get it done. The game is, look, it's a 5-point game. I'm not keeping up with it enough, but it's a 5-point game with a minute 53 to go over there in the Boca Raton, the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl.
Bush's Baked Beans Bowl.
But I do think this changes up a little bit, because it does give Arch Manning. So this leads me to, if we know that Michigan is now going to be missing those guys, they're going to bring up some young guys to try and, continue the pass rush. They're going to have to try and figure out some things about bringing different blitzes, bringing different looks. You want to create pressure against this Texas team. The more blitzes you have to use to do it, the better it opens up for Arch Manning, because now it's not a rush that's getting through, which rushes getting through are the worst thing for a quarterback possible, because it means everyone's still back in downfield coverage, and their 4 beat your 5. That's not a good – you're losing the numbers battle on that one. But if you can make them use 5, 6 guys to come after you, now you're talking about man coverage. Now you're talking about somebody being open downfield, and Arch has gotten better and better about finding them. But that, to me, puts you to Matt. Puts this question to you, Matt, which is, now that you see a couple of pass rushers are out, now that it is a bowl game where you're trying to maybe be a little bit more prolific offensively, because your defense is going to have a lot of changes happening in it, does this make you want to be a little bit more aggressive, going back to more of what Sark likes to do instead of what Sark became by the end of the season, because he started to figure out this is not going to work. Our offensive line isn't there. Let's get the ball out quick. Let's run more screens. Let's run more little short plays. Let's run some RPOs. Let's do whatever we can to get the ball out of our hands quick. Do you call up a couple more things to be aggressive, take some shots, try and get some explosive plays out of it a little bit more, hoping to set yourself up for next season? Or do you kind of go with what works a little bit more? How do you play that one, Matt, if you're the coach? Do you feel the need to try and be more aggressive, especially now that we know their top 2 pass rushers are out?
I would say no. I would just like them to keep doing what they were doing, particularly against Arkansas and, the second half against Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. Play to your strengths, and that's what your strengths are right now. Because in order to be able to dial up those explosive plays downfield. Yes, you have to be able to protect, but you also have to be able to run the football and keep the defense honest. And I still don't know if with those two edge rushers out that Texas is going to be able to rush the football effectively, at least at a consistent rate, because we haven't seen it at a consistent rate. We saw it against Texas A&M and we saw it against Arkansas kind of, and we saw it against Oklahoma, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the ways that you open up those explosive plays downfield is with play action. They have to honor the play action if it's going to be effective. I just keep doing, what has been successful, and maybe you can mix in some of that stuff, but let Ryan Wingo get into space, let Emmett Mosley get into space, and let them operate in the middle of the field. If, let's say that they do have to start bringing some more blitzes from their linebackers, maybe this is the Jack Endries game.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the game where you're like, hey, this is why you should stay here. You remember the Texas A&M game? That's only half of the battle. Let's get you in here and get you 8 catches on 10 targets for 150 yards and 2 touchdowns, and you can be an All-American next year. I don't want to get back to what happened against Florida, because if we remember in that Florida game, they had some defensive linemen who were out in that game, and going into that, we were like, oh, this could be good. This could be good news for Texas because this guy's out, this guy's injured. He's going to try to play or whatever. And the offensive line got eaten alive. So
Yes.
I still don't trust the offensive line, particularly on the interior, to be able to hold up. And I know that Brandon Baker and Trevor Gooseby are going to do a good job, but you need all 5 guys to play well. And in order to get those long developing plays, you need all 5 guys to play well. So I don't trust it.
Yeah, I would say my guess of what will happen would be your opening script is going to be more of what we've seen so far this season. That you're going to open up probably with a Ryan Wingo screen and get you going early. I think you would try and set things up a little bit more to get things, just get Arch comfortable. Get him in that same rhythm that he's been in where he started playing better. Get him in that. And judge what you're going to call for the rest of the game based on that. Now, if I'm guessing on this, Sark has a lot of deep plays installed. Sark has a lot of things that he would like to do in this game. That if they're playing well, the offensive line's blocking, they're not really able to get the pressure from Michigan. You'd like to be able to go in that direction and try and air it out a little bit more. Try and show a little bit more to some of these wide receivers that you're about to go after in the portal that, okay, I know what we did this year, but next year is going to be a different thing on the offense. We're feeling better about where we're going next season. So if you are able to get in, I do think that this Texas team could try and do that second quarter, maybe third drive, fourth drive, start to really try and take some shots downfield. Now, again, one of the problems with that is you have to be able to run the football because none of it really even matters. Even if they can't pass rush, if you can't run the football, they can still just sit back. They still don't have to, put extra sources up front. They still don't have to try and overcover you. And so you're going to need the young guys we've talked about, the James Simons, the Michael Terrys, the Christian Clarks, any of those. If Trey Wisner's playing in this game, Trey Wisner, you're going to need all those guys to get in and really try and set you up to at least get 3.5, 4 yards a carry. If you get 3.5, 4 yards a carry, it changes everything for what you're able to do and take those shots as you start to get going. But I do think when I saw that news about who was going to be out for Michigan, it did feel a little bit more like, okay, Sark, I feel like wants to try and evolve this offense back to the offense that he wants to call. I think he wants to try and go that route. The question is this offensive line going to be able to hold at all still? Or is it just we played well enough against A&M, so we can pretend now like we can do that, and it's immediately going to fall apart. So you do have to go back to what you want to do.
Yeah, and I still want them to try to utilize some of these younger players as well while playing within that system. Like I want to see Michael Terry get some outside zone runs, and give you an opportunity to have a power running game. It's just like I get that you want to put something on tape that can entice some of these transfer portal players, particularly at wide receiver, but you also have to do it at running back. So you do have to have a certain dedication to the running game. It's just like the more and more I think about it, unless there's some like, pipe dream player at wide receiver that they know that they can get.
Yeah.
I don't know that they're going to get one. Like, I don't know that. I still don't know that they're going to break the bank for that, because I do think that they believe in Khalil Lockett and Jamie French. I mean, maybe you could go after somebody to play in the slot. But I just think that this offense is going to look so different next year in terms of personnel anyway, like on the interior and at running back, that I don't know that putting something on tape for transfer portal players to look at is the way to go, just in the sense of like, well, look what we did in 2024 when we had the players that we want to run our system with. You know what I mean? Like when we have that running game that we like, and we have those explosive wide receivers and protection, these are the things that we can do. And if you come here, that's what we will do. This year, we just had to kind of make a change because things didn't work out the way we expected them to.
Yeah. No, it's by the way, this game is getting nuts over here. They've tried to kneel the ball twice. Toledo has gotten a penalty on both plays. They felt like they got a fumble recovery on the second one, but a penalty again. So Louisville, while taking knees, has just walked down the field on just penalty after penalty. So this is all right. It seems like they're trying now. But yeah, that was it's just Toledo just trying to find some magic thing out there. But I'm with you. I think in the portal, the question is going to be who pops in there that really strikes their fancy. Like, is there a guy like a Ryan Williams that you see go in there that you look at and you say, okay, well, he had a bad year at Alabama, so his price is down a little bit. We still think we could make something work with him, and we can put him in there, and I can sell him on Devontae Smith and everything else that Sark has done before and try and get him to come in. I think there's still some names of guys who are in the playoffs right now who are going to go into the portal at wide receiver. So some of those names I think could be a little bit more enticing. I know Cam Coleman is a name that all of us just look at and go, man, just get out of Auburn. Nothing good happens at Auburn. Get out of there. Come to a real team. I know that's a little bit more of what people want, but at the other side of it, I do think there's going to be some wide receivers there. So I could see that a little bit more if they go for that. But the big part for me is just, Sark wants to throw a ball downfield. Arch wants to throw the ball downfield, and they haven't been able to get it done. So I expect them to try and do it in this game. I expect them to try. Now, whether or not they're going to do it a lot or a little depends on the success early, if the offensive line holds or whatever else. But seeing those names out makes me feel like even more sure that they're going to try and chunk this ball downfield a few times, because it's a bowl game. And
look, I agree. It's a bowl game, and I think that you should try. The only thing that I don't want is for them to overly rely on it like they did against Florida.
Yes, I agree.
Like, as long as you don't do that, and if you go out the first couple drives and it's not really working for you, make an adjustment. But I don't want this to be a thing where like you're down 10-3 heading into the half because you had 10 of your 15 passing attempts at 20 plus yards down the field. You know what I mean?
I don't want you to go out there, have your defense hold, you come out and on your second play chunk the ball downfield, and now it's a 3rd and 10, and now you go and you pick up 7 yards and you got a punt, and now your defense is right back out there because you wanted to take your shot and it was not close, it wasn't going to happen, and then you come out on that second drive and the defense holds again and you do it again. Like, you don't want to see that, because we've seen that from Sark's playbook before of, we'll make it back up. And you're like, you can't do that to your defense. You don't have the depth defensively to be able to do that stuff in this game. Like that's one of those big pieces. It's not just that you don't necessarily have all your players. You're down so many scholarships on the defensive end of the ball that your linebackers are going to have to play a ton. Like, I mean, even Ty Anthony Smith, but all those linebackers are going to have to play way more snaps they've ever played in their life, or at least ever played in the college in this game. So you just don't want to keep leaving them out there, or else they're going to get exposed. because there you don't have, like, at linebacker especially, you don't have a rotation really. And if we depends on if we see Cole Brevard, Travis Shaw, you would assume we see them, but you never know with seniors. But those guys on the defensive line, is it a much smaller rotation of guys on there? You just want to make sure you have the right guys in there, that you're not getting burned by Michigan by the end of the game, that they have a little bit more, they have a few more bodies.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Depth is going to be a huge issue in this game, by the way.
Yes.
Because you're losing a lot of players to opt-outs. You're losing players to the transfer portal. So maybe at a certain point you're a little bit more conservative because you don't have a ton of guys that can go out there and compete, or they're ready to compete. I do think that, especially on the defensive side of the ball, it's kind of a non-starter because you're already going to be playing so many young players. It's like, who cares about the depth? Let's just see what we got. And Will Muschamp can just sit up there in the coach's box and be like, okay, I like this guy, I like this guy, I like this guy. This guy needs to do this, or this guy needs to be moved over here. Offensively, you're relatively intact with the exception of DeAndre Moore. I don't think there's been too many opt-outs to my knowledge.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen him yet. I expect to see him right before the game. We'll see a few more, I'm sure. Because you always do. You always see at least one more or something like that before the game where it's like, oh, this guy's not going to be there. But with NIL, there's negotiations and they're ongoing. Mm-hmm. And Joe, I get playing cautious on these things. I will tell you, if you look at what Marcel Reed was in the last 2 games of the season, that is why Arch Manning needs to play. That's why you have to play tough games in basketball. That's why you have to play tough games in football, because otherwise you get to the playoffs and you play a good team and you get smacked in the face. And that's what happened to Marcel Reed. Like, he was not ready at all for the moment. And this guy was a Heisman candidate in week 8 or 9. So, like, that's why I believe you have to do it. It's football. Guys are going to get hit. Guys are going to take it. Arch Manning gets hit in practice too, like, because he runs a football. And I know you wear a red shirt and everything else. You still take hits. You still go play with your friends. You still do all these things. And you try and keep them all healthy. 21, 22-year-old kids are going to do dumb things, even if they're the smartest 21, 22-year-old kids.
Marcel Reed was not helped very much, I think, by his offensive coordinator over the last couple of years. Like, they ran a system that was very friendly to him.
Yeah. Which
eventually turned into, well, we need you to do these other things so that we can score points. And then when they needed him to do those things so they could score points, he couldn't do it because they had a system that was so tailor-made for him in RPO and all that stuff. So when Miami took it away, it's like, well, now we need you to be a quarterback. He couldn't figure out how to do it over the last couple weeks. And that's concerning. Like, I don't even know if he's the guy that is the quarterback of the future for them anymore.
No, but this is my point though, is you do have to go into moments. And for Marcel Reed, it's like, if you had played good teams, that could have taken away your RPO before then.
Well, yeah,
then this would have been a problem that's already been addressed and worked on and everything else. But because you weren't in those tough games and you weren't going out there and getting more and more reps, it becomes harder. So I'm in for playing more games against decent competition, which this is still decent competition.
Yeah, and enter the Texas A&M guy into the chat who's like, well, he beat Notre Dame and he threw for 400 or whatever yards in that game, or 360, I guess. Well, yeah, he did. But he also completed 13 of 37 passes. And his receivers were taking, 5-yard routes, 80 yards. And that kind of inflated his stats. Like, he didn't really play well in big games at all this year. And that's why the competition level is so important. And I think that's why Arch Manning was able to grow so much throughout the year, having to face Georgia and Oklahoma and, Vanderbilt and Ohio State and all these teams that Texas played, and Texas A&M, who has a good defense. Whereas Marcel Reed didn't really face any adversity outside of the Notre Dame game until he played Texas.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's why I say it, Joe. I get what you're saying. Like, I don't think you're crazy for saying that. I'm just more of the iron sharpens iron. You got to go out there and go do it. You just have to go play in these games. You have to do it. even if they don't necessarily mean the same thing as we'd like them to mean, I still think you got to go do it. I also want to bring up the Michigan head coaching search, as we see now that we see that Biff Poggi has come out and made his case for why he thinks he should be the long-term head coach, and that Michigan is messed up and he's got to go in there and fix it and clean out all the problems, and that's his sales pitch for why he should be the next head coach. But after Kenny Dillingham has stayed with Arizona State, it really kind of put a wrench in what people thought they were going to do. So now we go into the new top target, Matt, which is Jeff Brom.
Yeah.
That is not the name that when all this happened and Michigan kind of went through the process of, all right, well, maybe this will be a good thing. Sharon Moore wasn't a coach of the future. We're going to go get our guy and we'll be ready to attack the future. I don't think anyone thought Jeff Brom is the coach of the future for Michigan either. So they're in an interesting place now. I still think there's a couple of names where they can sell it. Jeff Brom's not it. Jeff Brom's a name you bring in and you hope for the best, but he's probably got a 2-year leash on him. And then you're like, if it's not happening in 2 years, I doubt they're going to give him the full 4.
Are we like, if I'm a Michigan guy, am I really that excited about Jeff Brom? Like, no. I don't think that I am. I mean, you beat Louisville 27-22 in the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl, the Bush's Baked Beans Bowl. The Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl was Ohio versus UNLV. My bad. But like, who did you beat this year? Number one, you beat Pitt. Like, okay. You beat Miami. Good on you. I think Miami lost that game rather than Louisville winning it. And you lost 3 of your last 4. You lost to Cal, you lost to SMU, and you lost Clemson. Like, what about this? About what he has done is incredibly exciting in the sense of, well, this is the guy that's going to turn Michigan around. They lost 4 games in 2024.
Oh, no, that's the stat, man. Jeff Brom has never, as a Power 4 head coach, lost less than 4 games.
Yeah, that's wild to me. Like, how is that an exciting proposition? We're going to be 8-4 Michigan forever.
That's what I'm saying, though. I don't think there's any name that is super exciting. So there's a couple more names that are out there that have been out there that are not strong names because they're not super exciting, but they are guys that maybe you could bring in. And some of them have already signed extensions, so they're even more expensive to bring in. Now, Michigan does have the benefit that they did not have to pay Sharon Moore to fire him. So that buyout money is not there, right? So they do have a little bit more money to buy a coach out of their other contract. So names we've heard, Eli Drinkowitz is somebody that we've heard their name a few times. Again, not the most exciting name, not a guy who is necessarily the orator to make Michigan people feel great about him being the future coach. Clark Lee at Vanderbilt is another name we saw come up with Penn State a lot, that maybe that guy could come clean up your program and be a builder. Now, I don't know if cleaning up the program and Diego Pavia go together, but maybe he could kind of help you get yourself back on the right track. He is a culture guy, and he is somebody who's brought in a lot there. And then Kyle Whittingham, it feels like he almost put his name in the hat by stepping down to Utah and then immediately saying, I'm not done coaching. So that's another name that you throw out there that Kyle Whittingham, at least you can say, has won a lot of games. It feels like you're kind of hiring a James Franklin past James Franklin's prime for Whittingham, like a guy who's, already can't win the big game, but you're hoping if you give him a bigger platform, he can.
Yeah, I mean, Clark Lee is probably the one that I would target the most, just because, I mean, if you can win at Vanderbilt, I get that you got Diego Pavia and he was the main reason for it, but if you can win at Vanderbilt, I think that you have an opportunity to win anywhere. Eli, I'm a little bit higher on Eli Drinkwitz than a lot of other people, just because I do think that it's really hard to win at Missouri.
Yeah.
And I think that potentially his style would work better in the Big Ten than it does in the SEC. They run the football really well, but they're more of like a fast-paced offense type. I mean, I think they really have painted themselves into a corner here because I really think that they wanted Kalen DeBoer. And
well, I think they wanted their head coach to not go crazy.
Yes. And Kalen DeBoer and Clark Lee are both excellent choices for that kind of thing. Probably the least crazy coaches in the SEC right now. But Kalen DeBoer keeps winning. He's still alive in the playoffs, which is delaying your search, which is delaying everything for you. So at a certain point, you have to be like, well, if he beats Indiana, we have to go find somebody else, right? Because then the portal is going to be open. So you have to find somebody before January 2nd.
Yeah. I mean, that's what you figure. And that throws in the conversation of the other bigger name that's involved in this is Jesse Minter, which is there a Jesse Minter conversation? And because of his show cause, it's basically completely under wraps right now. But as soon as the show cause is up, then that's their hire.
Could be.
And that's when they go, okay, I could believe if their Michigan's doing their things right, that's the guy. They've already talked to him, and that's why we haven't heard as much about it. Is they're actually still like, this is who we want to be the coach. He wants to be the next coach, but he's got a show cause. We don't want to touch it until that show cause is done. He's also right now coaching, and maybe they want to wait till after the Texans game. I'd be fine if they announced it before the Texans game, really try and screw with that defense a little bit more. But but overall, it's like that's a name that's probably the most that name would probably make Michigan fans the happiest.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that one would at least they'd feel better about that one. Because outside of that, you're starting to look at OCs and DCs and, maybe trying to hire somebody up that you feel is the next guy, but that's a hard step forward to be your first head coaching gig to be Michigan.
Yeah, I've heard that Jesse Minter's show cause ended 8 days ago, and on I guess December 16th. And I've also heard that it expires on Christmas. So maybe on Christmas Day, we get some big news that Jesse Minter is going to be taken, or like the day after Christmas, it's Jesse Minter is taking over as Michigan head coach. I don't know. Like, do we want somebody from the Harbaugh era?
I mean, at this point, yes.
Well,
in a perfect world, no. But I mean, who else is? Would you rather have Drinkowitz and pay him a bunch of money to come up there, and you're kind of in there? But because this is the thing, I think Drink and Kenny Dillingham are probably around the same level coaches. I think Dillingham is a much better leader to get people excited about what he's doing. I think Eli Drinkowitz is probably a better hirer. He hires really good coaches around him. He puts a good staff around him. But like when you hear Eli Drinkowitz speak, you don't go, follow that guy into battle. Oh man, when he says jump, I say how high. You go more of like, all right, dude. All right, what do you need? So I don't know if he's the guy that now you bring in there and he's the guy that gets your fan base to throw you extra, $10 million you need for an IL. And that's really a big point of where they're at right now.
Is the Jed Fish thing done? Or is that
as
not
far as I've heard,
anymore?
that one's done now too. That one's out now too.
I mean, listen, I think that if Missouri was in the Big 12, they would be in the playoff almost every year under Drinkwitz.
I think he's a good coach. I just don't know if he's like, and maybe it is. Maybe it is. If he gets the big offer, he'll be able to go in. I just don't see him running a major team. Like, you have to be a PR guy there, and I don't see him as that. Maybe he could. Maybe he could figure it out, but it's kind of like Mike Leach, and that's where he'd be the biggest competition. That Mike Leach was a good coach and everything else, but you're like, you couldn't put Mike Leach in a major program.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was barely successful at Mississippi State. I mean, he did an okay job there.
But I'm saying like you couldn't put his type of personality there and expect him not to
Well-
be in the news every 15 minutes.
Well, yeah, that's also part of it. It's like you can be an okay football team with your coach being a sideshow. And I
Yeah.
loved Mike Leach. I think he
Oh,
was
I
an
did-
amazing,
yeah.
amazing person. But do you want, if you're Michigan, do you want your halftime interview with your head coach to be about like, Halloween candy and whether or not coffee is good and, talking to the sideline reporter about her wedding plans? Because that's what Mike Leach did. That's what Eli Drinkwitz is trying to do. So you got to like, I think that you're hoping and praying to God that Indiana beats Alabama and you can just throw the Brinks truck at Kalen DeBoer.
I just don't think it matters anymore. He won the game. He won the Oklahoma game. I think that's good enough that he doesn't need to go anywhere.
And if that's the case, stick with Biff Poggi for a year. I get that that's going to be a setback, but I wouldn't make a long-term hire that I'm not confident is going to turn around my program.
No, I agree. I agree that, I'd probably keep him over Jeff Brom, but that's because once you've taken Jeff Brom, now you've taken him out of somewhere else. If you're not hiring a coach kind of out of thin air, you could hire Whittingham too, I think, for a 2-3 year kind of clean your program up and have him there for a minute. He'll make you competitive. And then if you want to move on in a few years, you basically tell him, hey, retire again. It's time for you to walk away again. And we're not going to fire you, but go ahead and walk away. And then we're going to bring in a guy we really want.
Here's the question that I would pose to Michigan fans.
Yeah.
You're a blue blood program. You're the winningest program in the history of college football. I think they still are, aren't they? Or did somebody else take that from them recently?
I don't know.
They were, at least until a couple years ago. Maybe they still are. But you're one of the blue blood programs of college football. It's you, it's Ohio State, it's Notre Dame, it's Texas, USC, Alabama, Georgia. Like, you're in that mix.
Yeah, they have it by 32 over Ohio State. Alabama is next so they're at 1,022. Ohio State's at 990. Alabama's at 984. Notre Dame at 972, and Texas at 970.
Okay, so you're one of those programs. Would one of those other programs hire Jeff Brom if they fired Steve Sarkisian or Kirby Smart or Ryan Day? I don't think so.
No, I don't.
So maybe conduct yourself like you're one of those programs and break the bank. LSU did everything in their power financially and government-wise to get Lane Kiffin.
That's
you have
true.
to do the same thing if you're Michigan. And I don't care if, you have to pay Kalen DeBoer $15 million a year. If you want to get back to where you think that you should be, then you need to take a big swing. And but you can't take a big swing on a guy who's going to lose 4 games every year, because then you're just going to set yourself back 4 years.
But again, if I'm Kalen DeBoer and you go, I'm going to pay you 15, I go, 15, like, that's great for me, and we're never going to win. Because if you're paying me that, there's not the money for revenue share. There's not the money for NIL. There's not all these other monies. So if you want to come at me and give me the package, I'm going to give you $35 million a year in NIL plus a $10 million contract, which I don't think any college could do. But if you want to go with that, that's a real easy way to get Kalen DeBoer. Here's guaranteed $35 million every year to build your roster.
Okay, so
and
whatever
NIL
you have to
over
do.
revenue sharing. Yeah, you'd be like, oh yeah, well no, now I can build a roster. I'll be good to go.
Yeah, you just need to give somebody, whether it's Clark Lee or Kalen DeBoer, or I don't know if there's another name out there that you could realistically get at this point, but you have to give one of those guys an enticing offer like LSU did for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
And say, we will give you everything that you could possibly need to win. And if you don't, then you hold on to Biff Poggi until the next cycle of coaches and you just eat the bullet.
Yeah, I think that's probably more likely, but we'll see what ends up happening. Matt, let's take our first break here. We come back. We've still got to do NFL Power Rankings. Matt's going to give you some bourbons if you still need a gift. Coming up, Matt wants to give you some easy bourbon selections to maybe you can go back and see when they've been on Matt's Bourbon Banter, but just give you a little last minute gift shopping for the holidays if you have any of that. We'll get into our picks as well in hour 2. Lots to get into. as we continue on in a Tuesday final show of the week edition of Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations, and all of us at Audiovisual would like to wish you and your family a happy holiday season. This time of year can get a little hectic, so we want to remind you to relax, enjoy the season with your family and friends, and give us a call at 512-255-8678 for all of your home entertainment needs. This is my favorite time of the year. I love the holidays, the music, the decorations, the presents, the whole darn thing. So this year I'm asking all you listeners to help make this a special holiday for everyone. Smiles are contagious and free, so let's give them away like the government gives away your money. Let's high-five strangers on the street. Hold the door for people behind us. Tip your servers more than they've ever been tipped before. Give to a charity, or hell, give to a bunch of charities. If someone does a good job, tell them they did a good job. Pat someone on the butt. Sing in public places just because it feels good. And as always, hug your kids until they beg you to stop. Watch some games with your friends and make love to your wife or your husband. I know there's some women listening too. You can still give us a call at 512-255-8678 if you'd like to get some cool electronics. But more importantly, have a great holiday season and a fucking awesome next year.
You see Covert everywhere. It's that personal level of just feeling like it's a personal family interaction.
The customer service, it's impeccable. It's unlike anything I've ever experienced buying a car.
Over the 30 years that I've been buying cars from them, I feel like I know them and they know me.
Covert's done an amazing job of making me feel valued. If you purchase a vehicle and you want to feel like you're part of a family, join the Covert family.
Come and experience it for yourself.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
BK here for OLIPOP. Man, this stuff is the game changer of all game changers. Their slogan is a new kind of soda, and that's exactly what it is. You get that same great soda taste, but OLIPOP is actually good for you. Inside of every can, a blend of 7 unique botanicals, plant fibers, and prebiotics. You're getting 9 grams of fiber in every can, only 2 to 5 grams of sugar, and man, the flavor is absolutely there. Classic soda flavors like cola, root beer, lemon lime, and Dr. Goodwin. That's their version of a Dr. Pepper, and some other great flavors as well. The grape, the cream soda, the cherry cola. It's all fantastic. I'm telling y'all, OLIPOP tastes just like the soda you grew up sipping, but with the added benefits of microbiome and digestive health support as well. Pick up OLIPOP at H-E-B, Target, Walmart, Whole Foods, and Costco all throughout the Austin area and the state of Texas. And head over to drinkolipop.com. Use the promo code Texas20 for a discount on your first purchase. It's OLIPOP, a new kind of soda.
Welcome back to Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Myself, Patrick Davis, alongside Matt Galatzan of Texas Longhorns on SI. And, of course, you, the third member of Open Gym. Text line's open, 512-222-9328. Of course, on the chat, Facebook, Twitch, X, and on YouTube. Hour 2 on a Tuesday edition of the show. We are off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to celebrate Christmas. So we appreciate you hanging out with us. I hope you all guys have a lot planned and a lot going on here for the next few days so you can hang out and enjoy your holidays as well as we get closer in to Christmas. And then next week we'll get into the bowl games as we get to a Wednesday bowl. It's a Wednesday bowl, right? I think. Yeah, Monday and Tuesday, and the Wednesday will be the bowl game. So we'll get all into that as well as it's good times here on Open Gym on Texas Sports Unfiltered. Matt, it's getting closer. Have you ever gotten, Matt, and ask you, have you ever gotten a gift for Christmas that's sports related, like tickets or anything like that really blew your mind that you would get?
Not off the top of my head, I don't think. I know that for Christmas 2 years ago in 2023, we got my dad Sugar Bowl tickets.
Nice.
Because I was going down there to cover the game, so me and my siblings got him a little like sugar serving jar, and then put the gift inside of that or whatever, and then he went down there with my brother, my sister-in-law, and my nephew, and we all partied for New Year's and had a good time, and they went to the game, and I was in the press box. It was a lot of fun. I don't remember off the top of my head something that I got sports wise for Christmas, but I'm sure I did. I'm just old.
Yeah,
and
I know.
Bad memory.
Yeah, happy Merry Christmas, CB. Appreciate you. Always appreciate you, CB. It's no, like, because I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I've gotten a bunch of stuff where I've gotten hats and shirts and jerseys and all of this stuff, and it's funny. But I was trying to think of like, what's the perfect sports gift And I don't know what the perfect sports gift is because it's kind of for everybody. Like some people don't really wear jerseys. Some people don't, it's always weird buying stuff for like clothes or whatever else. You kind of got to know the person well enough to get in there. But I was curious, Vinny, if you guys in the chat have the gift that you've gotten something for sports, you were like, this nailed it. Because like tickets are really fun if you find the right event and they're in the right time frame and you've already talked to like a significant other to know that there should be free, because that's always a risk. Hey, we got you tickets and we have plans. So you don't want to do that all the time. But Matt, you know what else makes a really good gift on Christmas?
Bourbon.
Booze in general, but yes, bourbon as well makes a really good gift. So since you are our bourbon aficionado on the show, Matt, and you've been giving us Matt's Bourbon Banner on Fridays, I thought if somebody maybe is listening to Open Gym, driving in their car, trying to figure out what they're going to get for a difficult person to buy a gift for this Christmas, still trying to figure it out, maybe for a dad or an uncle or a son or a brother who doesn't necessarily like too much. I thought Matt could give you some options, different price ranges of some good different bourbons. That would be fun to check out. So Matt, if you were shopping for these people, what kind of bourbons would you recommend as good gift giving bourbons?
Well, I think it kind of has to, hit a couple of different marks. I think it has to be a classy bourbon. Something that you can't just necessarily find every day on your shelf. That's a cool bottle that not a lot of other people have. One that's also enjoyable, and that you can drink as a special occasion or when you have people over to your house or something. Not necessarily an everyday drinker, but something that you can be proud that you have on your shelf and you can kind of brag to your friends about, but also break it open because it's not wildly expensive. I don't want to go out there and tell anybody to buy a $250, $300 bottle of bourbon because that would be absurd. But I picked 6 different bourbons that I've reviewed so far this year. And all of these I think would make excellent Christmas gifts. The first one I'm going to go with is E.H. Taylor Small Batch. Kind of light is blocking my bottle here, but E.H. Taylor Small Batch. It comes in this really cool container here. It's one of my favorites by far. It MSRPs for I got my pages reloading here. It MSRPs for about $40. You'll probably find it for $50 or $60 at your local liquor store, maybe a little bit more depending on where you go. It's 100 proof, and it's one of my top picks for sure. And then another one that I would really, really heavily consider if you can find it, because it has definitely the coolest bottle out of all of this group. And it's kind of the most iconic looking and the one you can brag about the most. And that's Blanton's. It comes with a little horse on the top. It's got a really cool, bottle that not a lot have. It's 93 proof. It is supposed to MSRP for about $65. You probably won't find it anywhere for less than 100 because people are greedy and a-holes. It's not really worth I've seen places where it costs like $150. It's not worth that. But if you can find it for somewhere between $70 and $100, I would definitely pull the trigger, because that's one that's like, it just looks timeless on your shelf and it's also delicious. And it's probably my favorite bourbon when it's all said and done. Another really good one that I like a lot is Weller 12. As you can see, I've drank a lot of this bottle. Weller 12 is fantastic. It MSRPs for about $70. On the secondary market, you'll probably find it for between $100 and $150. Also, depending on where you go. Another really delicious one that looks great and that you can brag about, the Weller series. As long as you get past the green label, which is swill, the rest of them are very delicious. But Weller 12 is my favorite of that group by far. Another really good one that is, it's one that you find in restaurants a lot, but it's harder to find in store. But it's also really delicious. I got my dad a bottle of this recently. Eagle Rare 10. Also, as you can see, really cool bottle. It's also delicious and all of these, by the way, are very oaky. If you know about my bourbon reviews, they're all very oaky. It's supposed to MSRP for about $30. But if you look for it online, for example, it'll be a little bit more expensive. You'll probably find it for $50 or $60 in your local liquor store. But I mean, if you're looking online for this, I mean, I've seen it up there as far as like $150, $200. So definitely get this one at a liquor store and not online, because people will try and, really get you on that one.
Acting prices up.
Yes. And then I'll save this other one for last, but if you're just looking for a nice bottle for someone and you don't want to break the bank, but you want to give them something good to drink, this is actually my favorite everyday drinker, even though it's a little bit more on the expensive side for an everyday drinker. Woodford Reserve Double Oak. You can't go wrong with this one. This is the one that got me into bourbon in the first place. It saved my life during a bachelor party, and it's been my favorite drink on the planet ever since. It's 90 proof, 90.4 proof, delicious, cool looking bottle too. It MSRPs for around $60. So again, you're not going to break the bank on it, but it's a really good solid bottle that everybody would love to have on their bar. And then let me find this one online real quick so I can get you what it costs online, because this will be probably the most expensive of the group. Here we go. Okay. So this is definitely the best Christmas gift. Because look at this thing. How cool is this? How you could wrap this like a present and everybody would think it's a box, but it's a bottle of bourbon, Patrick. It's Booker's small batch. They're uncut and unfiltered. The one that I have is from 2024. It MSRPs for about $75. But you're probably going to find it for closer to $150 to $200 in your local liquor store. But in terms of a present, I mean, who wouldn't want to get this on their bar and just let it sit there and look cool? Because people are going to think it's like a $300 bottle of bourbon. It's not. It's delicious. It's very high proof, and it's one of those ones that can just be like kind of a decorative piece on your bar. And if you want to open it for a special occasion, it's a really good one. So those are the 6 that I would probably choose.
Okay. I like that.
There's other ones out there. If you're like a Texas bourbon fan, any of the Still Austin line is going to be good. Any of the Milam and Green is going to be good. I would probably stay away from Balcones as a gift because most of it's pretty cheap. It is delicious, but it's not much of a gift giver. But definitely go get yourself some Balcones for yourself. I'm not telling you don't do that because it's really good stuff. But all of these are really good options for Christmas. And you can find most of them at a liquor store too if you're looking for a last minute gift for your dad or your brother or just anybody that enjoys bourbon. So any of those would be great.
I like it, Matt. Some easy pickups if you want to go around and check out the liquor store. Oh, well, that's look, I have multiple friends of mine who are more into bourbon than I am, and they have all at some point mentioned that. Like, that's the one you want to get. You could always get it. And it doesn't matter if you got 3 bottles for Christmas, you'd be happy with all 3 bottles.
Well, here's the other thing about this too, is this is the only one of the group. This is Blanton's, by the way, for the people who are listening and not watching on YouTube. This is the only one of the group that is kind of a collectible, because the horses all have letters on them. And the goal is to collect all of the letters that spell out Blanton's.
Yes.
And you can buy, like, in tandem with this, you can buy like a really cool display set like I have where it has different holes for the horses so it can spell out Blanton's for you. So that's all. It's a really solid gift idea for a bourbon lover, and I bet they would like it a lot.
Yes. Yeah, the different horses that spell out Blanton's, and they're all in the way of a horse running, so it's extra.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the same. Well, yeah, it's a very interesting, cool, different way to do it. But yes, it's good stuff there, Matt. So Blanton, sorry, I was watching the thing you don't want to see in a bowl game, Western Kentucky. Center got rolled up on, and not going to have a Merry Christmas because that leg is not in the same shape it was before. So they're rolling him out on the cart right now. Luckily, not a major like spinal injury or anything like that. But yeah, that's one of those ones where they show the replay and you see the foot. You know, Matt, when you see the foot and it doesn't seem attached really anymore, it's kind of hanging by skin. Not a fun one to watch.
Yeah, I'm trying not to listen to this because that makes me want to go to a trash can real quick.
See, Joe, I'll be happy. I have a sneaking suspicion that that I will be getting some Jack Daniels because I normally get multiple bottles of Jack Daniels every year for Christmas. So my sneaking suspicion, I will receive some Jack Daniels, and I do not complain one bit. It will be drank. It will be drank, no problem, on my bar. So I will enjoy it. My uncles actually got me a cool gift. They got me Lone Star glasses from, I think, World War II. But they're like from that era, and you can tell. So basically, the story is that you can tell in the making of them, they couldn't spend the resources to make them like perfect. So you can tell that they're like kind of flawed glasses, but that makes them more valuable because they come from that era. And it was a cool gift of like, okay. And I don't know ever when to use them though, because my friends are not the type of people you bring out nice things around when we're drinking. So
just when you're enjoying a nice beer at home by yourself, man.
I don't drink by myself. Really. I don't really drink by myself. Yeah, it's a weird one, but I've drank a lot in my life, and so I don't do it by myself. You know, in the attempt to not become an alcoholic, I try just to space. You know, also it's good when you not just pound on a needless amount of extra calories every single night drinking beer. So I don't always do it, but every once in a while, maybe when I have the right people over, I break them out. Matt, we do need to get into as well. Chance says, glad I didn't see it. Yeah, no. And luckily not many people did because it's on during the day on a Tuesday. I know it is Christmas week, but it's on a day during the Tuesday of Southern Miss versus Western Kentucky. So not the biggest game of the year. This is the New Orleans Bowl. All right, Matt, it's time to get, it's Joe saying, my best friend's sister, when I was growing up, worked at Lone Star Brewery in San Antonio. They had a great Olympic-sized pool on site. Nice. The Lone Star Brewery in San Antonio, the beer was the best for Lone Star when it was coming out of there. It has been somewhat downgraded every time they move it. Feels like it's not staying up to what it was, but I still drink it because I'm a glutton. Let's get into our picks for this week, Matt. There are some decent football games happening on Saturday. We don't know how decent they will be until we will watch them, but there are games to watch on Saturday. It is not the bottom of the barrel is what we've been dealing with somewhat so far. So some of these could be decent. Some of these are teams that are interesting because we know they have talent on these teams. They just have not lived up to the talent. And some of these in one game definitely did live up to the talent. So seeing how many guys are still playing in those games. But let's start our picks right now. By the way, Matt, we have tied up. I gave you the window to open it up. We had 3 different picks. You won all 3 of those. So we are all tied up at 45 right now as we move on to our week 19 picks here in our pick contest. Starting off, Matt, with the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl. This one is played in a baseball stadium at Yankee Stadium. It's Penn State versus Clemson. Clemson is -3 in the game. I'm going to see if I can find an easy way to look at opt-outs. But what do you like for Penn State and Clemson?
Well, is Cade Klubnik playing?
I'm looking right now.
If Cade Klubnik is playing, I will take Clemson -3 because I think Penn State is going to do horribly in this game. They lost a ton of guys to the transfer portal that are important already. AJ Harris, the corner, and then the defensive end that they lost is the number 1 player in the transfer portal. He's not going to play in that game, I would assume. This is going to be a gross game. This was these were 2 teams who were in my Final Four for the college football playoff, and neither of them made the field by a long shot. But I guess Clemson. I really, I'll take Cade Klubnik if he's playing. If he's not, then I may have to reevaluate my decision.
I don't see him on the first list. Yes, Cade Klubnik is playing in this bowl game.
All right, then give me Clemson -3.
Clemson -3. I like that. If Kate Klubnik is playing in this game, it does make you feel like this should be a Clemson game to have it for Dabo to try and turn it around. I don't know if we get our new Penn State coach in there. If I would assume that we have not got Matt Campbell installed into Penn State yet, but Clemson will still have Dabo Swinney. I will give it to them for consistency on this one. I think that they get it. All right. Our next game, Matt, is Georgia Tech versus BYU in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Let's see if we have any major opt-outs. I do not see any opt-outs on this one, so they haven't listed any on this one on this site. BYU is favored by 4.5 in this game. We know Georgia Tech had a really good season. BYU didn't lose to anybody but Texas Tech twice. Do you think BYU can keep it going in this one, in Georgia Tech and BYU?
No, I don't. I think that perhaps Georgia Tech is the team that finally exposes BYU as a fraud that is not named Texas Tech. I think Haynes King is going to have a great game. I know that they're losing Buster Faulkner, but I can't in good conscience pick BYU against a good football team. So I'm taking Georgia Tech.
Do we know if Mormons can eat Pop-Tarts?
Probably not, would be my assumption.
I mean, that's the challenging part of this game. The 4.5 is a little bit in there. I think Georgia Tech, this does feel like they're going to be able to go, but I'm going to go with BYU, Matt. I'm going to say that BYU is more upset for not being in it. A lot of these teams, when they get upset about it, do come out and play well in their bowl games because they do want to show that they're there. They do have something more to play for than Georgia Tech. Well, I know Georgia Tech has something to play for, but it feels like BYU can hold on to the fact of, if we win this, then we'll say if we were in the college football playoff, we would have won instead of the group of 5 or the group of 6 school. We would have won. So if they win this, they'll be like, the only team to beat us was Texas Tech. And they're holding out hope that Texas Tech wins a national championship. And they'll be like, we're the second best team in the country, which is not true. But that is what they will sell at BYU. And they'll put up a banner like the Aggies like to do. So I'm going to take BYU in this one. Last college game here, Matt. The Kinders Texas Bowl happening in Houston. LSU Houston in Houston at NRG. Houston's favored by 3 points in this, Matt. Who do you like in LSU in Houston?
All my homies hate Lane Kiffin. Give me Houston. Everybody's going to play in that game for them for as much as I can tell. I think LSU's just lost too much to the portal and guys opting out, and I just think that there's some dysfunction there. I don't even know, is Frank Wilson coaching the game for them? I don't know. I'm gonna go with Houston, and it's gonna be annoying because the Big 12 team is gonna beat an SEC team in a bowl game, and all the Big 12 people are gonna be like, "See, we're better than the SEC," and it's like one of the worst teams in the SEC. So give me Houston to
Yes, it is still Frank Wilson
for me.
It is still Frank Wilson. I'll go with Houston as well. It's also home field advantage. I know LSU has a good fan base in Houston. They have people there. So it does feel like maybe Houston is going to have a little bit of an edge. And it just feels like LSU fans are like, we don't care about this. But Houston fans get a win over the LSU, which they get to take into next season and feel really good about. So I'll say Houston gets the win on that one as well. And I don't know. I'm assuming Kinders is, let's say.
It's a barbecue sauce.
Oh, is it that Kinders?
I think so.
See if we see the picture in the bowl, because I know there's multiple.
It's the barbecue sauce / seasoning / whatever.
Yeah, I have some of that wing sauce in my kitchen right now for Kinder, so I should have known that better. But yeah, I used to have some of that. All right, let's look at some NFL games here, Matt. We'll start off with my team, The Houston Texans, they are playing at the Chargers on Saturday night. The Chargers are 2.5-point favorites in this game. It is a big Saturday night game for the Texans or Saturday afternoon, I should say, for the Texans and the Chargers. This one is the Texans have been on a good roll. They've been playing good football, but maybe not necessarily as good as it should have been the last few weeks. They are currently on a 7-game win streak. So can they continue that, or is this the loss before they keep moving on? What do you think about this game, Matt?
The Eagles are frauds. The Bills will put them out of their misery this weekend.
Texans and Chargers. Texans and Chargers, Matt. Texans and Chargers.
Wait, what?
Texans and Chargers. Then we'll go to Eagles and Bills.
Oh, sorry. I had the wrong game written down. I think the Chargers got this one. The defense for the Texans has not been there over the last couple weeks. I still don't believe in that offense. I think Justin Herbert's on kind of a heater right now. I really like Ladd McConkey and what they've got going on in that offense right now. So I'm going to take the Chargers. I didn't even have that one on my list, Patrick. Did I miss that? I completely just skipped over that one when you sent me the picks.
Or skipped over it. Yeah, Texans and Chargers -2.5. You know what? I love to pick the Texans. They have been on the 7-game win streak. They have been playing good football. The Chargers, though, feel like they're starting to get better and better as the time's going on. They're starting to fall into place where they had that little mid-season struggle. They're starting to play a lot better, and I think this might be the game that kind of puts the Texans into do-or-die mode, where it feels maybe they got a little complacent with how good that defense was playing, that the offense regressed a little bit. It got better, then regressed. I think that they're going to be able to that LA is going to put them back in their place, and Texans are going to have to go into a little bit more of panic mode again. That got them to be playing better football. I think they need that back in their soul, and they're going to get it after this game. All right, now we'll go to the Eagles and Bills, Matt. 1.5-point game, 1.5-point spread for the Bills in this game.
Like I said, the Bills are going to put the Eagles out of their misery, and I don't think this one's going to be close. I'm taking the Bills and Josh Allen, who is the second best quarterback in the NFL this season.
Yeah, this one is at Buffalo. We know it gets harder and harder to play in Buffalo as the weeks go on and we get further into the season. I know the Eagles play in cold weather as well, but it just feels like once it comes down to it, I mean, you want to say Saquon Barkley is going to be able to keep running the football, but they haven't been able to run the football extremely effectively this season. So I'm going to think Josh Allen is just able to kind of will it out of the game. And I'll go with the Bills as well to cover in this one.
And you picked the Chargers, right? I forgot to write it down.
I did. Yes, I did take the Chargers as well. All right, last game here, Matt. Sunday Night Football. The Bears at the 49ers. Both teams are 11-4. San Francisco is favored by 3. The 49ers have been playing really good football as of late. What do you like in this matchup, Bears at 49ers?
Well, the Cowboys haven't really played well. I'm kidding. I know what game we're picking. I'm going with the Bears. I just feel like they've been playing really good football. The Ben Johnson thing is just, I think it's real. So I like the Bears. They're going to be a playoff team, and I think they're going to be able to make some noise in the playoffs. So I think they're going to finish the season really well, and it starts in this next game.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to take the 49ers. I think the 49ers have been playing really good football and finding out ways to win. They are on a streak, 5 consecutive wins that they are on. I think they really need this one because they're going to be playing against the Seahawks in the last game of the season as well. So this one is one that they feel maybe they can go in there, harass Caleb Williams, go out there and put together a good game offensively with Brock Purdy. So I'll go ahead and take the 49ers to cover the 3 points there. And that will put us at us picking different teams. I have BYU, you have Georgia Tech, and then I have the 49ers, and you have the Bears. So a couple different games there this week for both of us. We both have Clemson beating Penn State and covering. We both have Houston covering L3 against LSU. We both have the Chargers covering 2.5 versus the Texans, and we both have the Bills covering 1.5 versus the Eagles. So there are some picks for us. We'll see if Matt can grow a lead, get a lead. Tied up here, Matt. You had the lead early. I was able to catch back up, then take my own lead, and you have got it back and caught up there.
Working hard over here.
What's that? Getting
I'm
hot?
working hard over here to try and come back.
Right.
You know,
I know you're getting hot. That's why you're not wearing the Christmas sweater anymore. So you had to
Dude,
bail on that.
I was sweating, man. I had to make a change.
Put on fans, AC, and everything like that in the middle of December. You got to put on the AC. We do the Cowboys again coming out this week. This is to get them to 8-1. Matt's prediction: they do have to win this one. It's Christmas Day at noon against the Commanders. Matt, is this where the Cowboys can win their last two games and move on, or are you bouncing off of your 8-1 prediction?
I'm sticking with it because I think the Cowboys are really good at winning games that don't matter. So I think they're going to win the next two. They're going to finish 8-1, and they're going to be the most ultimate version of 500 that you can possibly be in American sports.
Yeah, I mean, well, in a season that has an odd number of games, it is hard to be 500, and they will find a way to do it
Yes,
with
they
this
will.
with the tie. Yeah, this one, Dallas is favored by 7 in this game, even though it's in Washington. The Christmas Day games, I do love it for basketball fans because this was the NFL trying to horn in on what the NBA has had Christmas Day for years. It's kind of been the unofficial kickoff for NFL season or NBA season for a lot of football fans. It's like, okay, we'll start kind of paying attention we'll pretend the season just started on Christmas Day.
Mhm.
And then we'll really start paying attention after the playoffs, but we'll start paying attention a little bit because now there's not as much football on. It's just the NFL, college football starting to dwindle. So we'll pay attention. They try and come in and take this over. They get the 6-1 Cowboys versus the 4-11 Commanders. Not a game, not a huge game. I don't know if is there a big halftime show? Do we have
I have no idea. I would assume so because it's a Christmas Day game, but I don't know.
I know they always do it on Thanksgiving, but I don't know if they do it.
I hope it's Creed. Please be Creed.
Who's doing the halftime show? Let's see. No, Snoop is doing Detroit versus Minnesota. I believe that's what we're getting. I believe that's our big halftime show of the day from Netflix, because these are all on Netflix, by the way. So it looks like maybe we're not getting a huge one at Cowboys and Commanders. I'm sure there's something going on, but it does not feel like it's necessarily going to be the big deal that the Snoop's Christmas show will be on, though, during the Detroit Minnesota game, which is another one. 8-7 Detroit versus the 7-8 Vikings on 3:30 on Netflix. So yet another game of two teams that won't be in the playoffs. We have yet to get to a playoff team here, Matt. And our four teams so far on Christmas Day yet to have a playoff team involved in it. So Netflix spent a lot of money to try and take over basketball. Not a playoff team over there. But then we get 7:15, our first playoff team, the Denver Broncos, going against likely Shane Buechele and the Kansas City Chiefs, as Gardner Minshew also tore his knee all up. He has a torn ACL as well. There's 2 torn ACLs for Kansas City, so they don't have anybody playing there. Travis Kelce's kind of phoning it in a little bit more. You get that game. No good games on Christmas in the NFL. It is NFL football. They will get more ratings than the NBA still with bad games, and on Netflix, their ratings will still be fine. Also, Netflix kind of makes up ratings, so it's a little bit easier when those back. The most people ever watch football ever will be there. The NBA, to compare games here, Matt, we'll start off with the Cavaliers and Knicks. 16-14 Cavaliers, playoff team last year, versus the Knicks, 20-8, one of the best teams in the East. Good Eastern Conference matchup, 11 a.m. 1:30 game, Matt. Spurs versus Thunder, 2 20-plus win teams. Really good matchup there. They play again tonight, too, by the way. Spurs and Thunder in San Antonio tonight. They play again in OKC on Christmas Day. Then 4 o'clock is Mavericks Warriors. Can't win them all. 7 o'clock, you get the Rockets and the Lakers, 2 favorites right now to win the NBA championship. 2 teams that are going in. Kevin Durant, LeBron James on your 7 o'clock game for
who's the star of the Lakers?
I mean, it's Luka Doncic.
Yes,
but Kevin Durant and LeBron James are the two big names of two biggest names in basketball, two of the top scoring basketball players of all time. Luka will be there one day. And then at 9:30, we get the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, another really good matchup. So out of the five matchups, we get 4 that are really good matchups on Christmas Day. I'm just saying the NBA, NFL, you should not have tried to take over the NBA's holiday.
Well, to Netflix's credit, they did pick the Cowboys, who are going to draw ratings no matter what.
Yeah.
They were really banking on that Broncos Chiefs game, though, man. They were really banking on it. And that's going to be awful. Shane Buechele, I former Longhorn, great guy.
I'm guessing that's who's starting. I know they picked him up.
I think he probably will. I don't know who else it could be.
I know they had the other guy play a little bit last week. I don't know how well he did.
But yeah, that's really brutal for Netflix. I'm really hoping that I don't know if anybody remembers the Jake Paul fight on Netflix, not like the Jake Paul Mike Tyson one.
Yes.
That was horrendous. Like you could not even watch it.
Oh no.
Because it was the buffering and the connection was so bad. There was way too many people trying to sign on and watch it. I'm curious if that's going to happen again, or maybe if they figured it out. I don't know. But yeah, Chris Olodokun was the third string quarterback for the Chiefs. I have a hard time believing he is going to get the start on Christmas Day against the Broncos, but you never know.
If he does, there'll be a party at South Dakota. So he was a South Dakota State guy. But yeah, no, no, that fight was annoying because like there was parties for it, and you went, and then we're like, I think we were watching something else, and then we were going to put that fight on, and then we went to try and put the fight on, and we're just like, okay. So then we just waited till it was over and said, nobody spoil it. We'll all just hang out. Nobody look at your phone, really. We'll just hang out. And then when it finally was over, like an hour after it was supposed to be done, then we went back and just watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it wasn't that exciting. It was not nearly as good as the Jake Paul, Anthony Joshua fight. That I've now heard Jake Paul say he had the flu. That's the only reason he lost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The only reason that I didn't make it into the NBA is because I had the flu, Patrick. Didn't I tell you that?
The only reason I didn't win MVP in the NFL is because I had the flu.
Yeah.
It's the only reason. Not that I fought a bigger, better boxer than me, but
who broke my jaw.
Yeah, I think that was the one part he was hoping didn't happen. I'm pretty sure Jake Paul was like, best case scenario, I win, and then I'm actually a good boxer. But most likely what'll happen is I'll lose. Then I'll be like, yeah, I fought a bigger and better guy because you guys kept, because, I'm such a tough guy that I only fight really good fighters. So isn't it clear that I only fight really good fighters? So I fought this guy. So now, because I only fight really good fighters, I'm going to fight someone in my own weight class and then go pick out some guy who's like 63 years old and just, beat him up for a little bit.
He's got to either be a retired boxer or an MMA fighter who's over the hill.
Oh yeah, a grappler.
Yeah.
He'll go fight one of those guys on the card that just got completely obliterated in the prelims.
Yeah, like it is like maybe he'll pick a wrestler next. Maybe he'll be like, all right, Stone Cold Steve Austin, I want to box you.
Not even an active wrestler. Somebody's been retired for 20 plus years.
Yeah, who's the guy who's just sitting out on his ranch, feet like hanging out with his cats.
Hey, the corpse of Hulk Hogan, come on out here. Let's do this. We're gonna win this. Where's the Stinger? Let's go get him.
Yeah, maybe he'll pick an actor, Jason Statham. He's a really good fighter in movies.
Oh, you know what? Mark Wahlberg. Go get Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah,
he's played a boxer before. He clearly
he might actually beat Jake Paul.
He wouldn't beat him, but I feel like Mark Wahlberg could be cocky enough to think he could beat Jake Paul.
Well, I don't know. He's in really good shape.
He is, but he's like 40-something years old and not a boxer. And Jake Paul, for all of his faults, is a boxer.
Yeah.
Like, he's had enough actual fights now that you'd be like, oh, I'd take him over the guy who's been a boxer in a movie. But he's going to fight Sly Stallone first. It's who he'll fight first, is Sly Stallone. Matt, why don't we take our second break? We'll come back.
Maybe he'll fight Dolph Lundgren.
Oh yeah, that Dolph Lundgren looks in great shape.
Yeah,
gonna be in that new. Is he gonna be in that new Street Fighter movie?
I think so.
That seems like it's not gonna be great. We're gonna take our second break here, Matt. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up. Give everybody the Christmas spirit before we get out of here on a Tuesday edition, last show of the week edition of Open Gym here on Texas Sports Unfiltered.
Hi, I'm Dan Covert with my wife Hayden. Welcome to Covert BK.
Our newest location in the gorgeous Hill Country includes Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram, and hundreds of pre-owned and certified vehicles for you to choose from. We have 3 service departments that are ready to take care of your car, truck, or SUV with 86 service bays to accommodate any repair and get you in and out quickly. Come visit us today to select the vehicle you've been dreaming about.
Covert, born and raised in Austin.
Hi, this is Tom McKay, owner of Audiovisual Consultations, and we'd like to take a moment to thank all of our clients for making the last 37 years both fun and fruitful. If you haven't yet, I'd like to invite you to give us a try for all your home electronics needs. There's no need to leave your home to find great pricing and incomparable service. No traffic, inexperienced sales geeks, or pushy showroom tactics. We come to you. So just relax, hug your kids, and smile. We handle all the work. Just give us a call at 255-8678 or online at avconsultations.com.
Say hello to Jason and the gang over at Relax the Back. They embrace a holistic approach for a healthier lifestyle based on 35 years, folks, of proven expertise, and my back couldn't be happier. Their motto is live wellness, and folks, they can transform your routine, your daily routine, into something very, very special if you have back pain. If you're struggling with thoracic problems, if you've got hip problems, if you've got lumbar problems, please go over to one of their stores. They got 2 great locations, and find out a chair or a recliner or a sofa that's going to fit you and going to make your life a whole lot better. I've got this office chair right here that I've been sitting in for years, and I love it. 2 locations, folks, at the Hill Country Gallery across from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the Buck and Relax the Back.
SendTexTickets.com. If you're in the market for tickets to any sporting event, any concert, any Broadway show, anything live coming to town, you got to head over to SendTexTickets.com. The best seats to all of the biggest events, not just here in Austin, but all over the state and all over the country as well. It's so easy to use. Just log on your phone or computer to SendTexTickets.com. All of their tickets are 100% guaranteed, and they will be delivered right to your phone or computer. So simple to use, and you're also helping to support a local business every time you shop. SendTexTickets.com. So if you want to be at the biggest events in sports and entertainment, there's only one place to go. It's SendTexTickets.com.
Back here on Open Gym on Tech Sports Unfiltered, wrapping it up for the week here on Christmas. It's a good we got a barn burner of a game here happening, Matt. Western Kentucky versus Southern Miss in the New Orleans Bowl. I don't know who the sponsor of the New Orleans Bowl is. I'm gonna have to look, see who's our sponsor. I'm sure it's something weird because they're not even putting it on there.
Tony Sacheries.
Is it the Tony Sacheries? That's why they didn't put it on there. It didn't fit. But yes, this is
it's the R&L Carrier. They have 2 sponsors, the R&L Carrier. Oh, but the title sponsor is R&L Carriers. I don't know what that is.
Oh, is it like Cotton Holdings? Is it one of those weird ones?
It's a privately owned freight shipping company based in Wilmington, Ohio.
Okay.
Odd sponsor for the New Orleans Bowl.
I don't think they got a good sponsor.
You got to get Tony Sacheries or some sort of Cajun thing for it, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm even looking at their website.
Mama seasoning.
I'm looking at their website, and there is not a actual sponsor like really on this at all. So I'm guessing the city of New Orleans is paying for it, but didn't the salesperson's getting fired? Couldn't get a corporate tie-in for this, man. Come on, man. You got to get somebody good in there.
On next week's opening edition of Open Gym, we are going to debate the best title sponsors for the New Orleans Bowl.
That's who we got to get. The right people in there. Hey,
if they want to get Open Gym as a sponsor, I'm sure BK would listen.
Yeah, just get Texas Sports Unfiltered Bowl with no teams from Texas in it. It'll be perfect. We'll get it in there. Matt, let's you sent me this earlier this week or last week, I believe. And I just want to play it because we got to see sometimes during the holidays, we have to remember that at least we're not Aggies. And it's a fun thing to do. So just the fun of Billy Lucci jumping through hoops to not give Texas any credit is one of the most fun things you'll watch. And then having to get completely shut down over and over again. But just one of our meatheads for today is Billy Lucci, who always gets it because the Aggies still can't win a playoff game.
Teams on Texas's level throughout the year. Texas just won that second half, and they won it.
What teams would you say were on Texas's level that they played throughout the year?
Notre Dame. Here's where it gets tricky because this is where you're going to catch me.
Because that's where my list stopped.
Well, see, today I would maybe say that, but
today, and I think today is what matters because today we have all the information we need to evaluate what the skill level of these teams.
But I think Mississippi State was on the level and I think Florida was clearly on the level. I think, and Florida.
You did not play the same team that played Florida. You did not play the same Texas team that played Florida.
But they did play the same Texas team in terms of personnel and talent, not confidence.
There were personnel injured in Florida that played against A&M.
Yeah, I guess Manny, did they have O-line injuries in that one?
Yes, they had O-line injuries early.
So, okay.
O-line had no idea what they were doing early as well because there were some position changes at center and at left guard that changed. So Arch actually had protection against A&M, which was much different compared to what was happening in the Florida game.
I would have said LSU. I would have said Missouri. To me, those are on the level where Texas was this year.
LSU looked like hot garbage. Missouri had their backup quarterback in.
Okay, you're right. But I'm going to say cut. No, seriously. Look, Texas.
Did we watch the same football season?
Well, hold on. Let me tell you about LSU, though. You're right about Missouri. With that backup quarterback, they had no off. LSU, after they played A&M, lost to, I think, Alabama. They were down 17-9 with 2 minutes left in Tuscaloosa. They lost to OU 13-10 in their last game. LSU... here's what I'll say. If Texas went and played at Mizzou, if Texas played at LSU, I think those would have been highly competitive football games. Do I think Texas, by the end of the year, was a better team than them? Yes, I do.
There's Billy Lucci doing circles to try and explain why the Aggies are great and the Longhorns weren't, and the Aggies will, of course, be able to beat Miami because, Texas, A&M has played many teams the level of Texas. Texas wasn't their best game this year, because Mississippi State was close to Texas. So Mississippi State and Texas are the same team. So meaning Texas A&M, every team in the SEC is as good as Texas. I think was the logic we were going there, right?
Yeah, look, I actually really like Billy. I think he's really good at what he does. I also think that Amanda is really good at what she does. She absolutely bodied him in that clip. It was hilarious. If you have to run circles around a conversation to try and prove a point, then you keep getting shut down with every single point that you make, I think you lost. The fact of the matter is Texas A&M just was fraudulent. They were a pretender. They beat a lot of really bad teams. And to their credit, they beat Notre Dame on the road because Notre Dame missed an extra point on their final touchdown. But you didn't beat anyone. You beat an LSU team that fired their coach after that game. You beat a Missouri team that had their backup quarterback. You beat a Florida team that didn't make a bowl game and fired their coach. Every team that you beat was in the bottom half of the SEC.
Yeah.
Except I think there was one that was right above the bottom half. I think that was Missouri. But everybody else was in the bottom part of the SEC. And then when you played a team with a pulse like Texas, you got bitch slapped. Same thing with Miami. If Miami doesn't miss 4 field goals or 3 field goals or whatever it is, you lose that game by 2 scores. So I don't know. I think it was pretty evident. And I get what he's trying to do. He's trying to push a Texas A&M narrative, but like it's just not there this year, and that's okay.
No, and I feel like if he would have just gone, oh no, this Texas team is really, really good, and that's why they were able to beat us. And then these other games that we won are also good teams, but Texas, man, they're on another level. They're that next level team. We're playing great football down the stretch. And, I think those games will be back and forth, but we're still better than most of the teams. They matched up well with us. Instead of being like, they suck, they're an awful team, and yet they beat us. Like, come on, man. By 10 points. You can't make that sell, man. You can't make that sell. You got to try and make it a little
but also you have to realize that if Billy Lucci, the figurehead of Texags, comes out and says anything good about the Longhorns, his message board's just going to melt down like a nuclear reactor.
They're going to melt down no matter what. They're going to melt down. And yes, Joe, they missed 3 field goals and still didn't put in our boy scholarship bird. Even after missing 3 field goals, and all I saw on my Texas Twitter timeline is just people being like, it's time to put in Auburn. And the funniest part is that, man, I was going to text you and be like, are we going to see my prediction that Bert Auburn's somehow going to come in and cost him a game?
I wish.
But by the way, Bert Auburn now, another playoff win on his record. Another playoff win on his resume. Bert Auburn, many more playoff wins than Oklahoma and A&M.
You stole my line. I was going to say Bert Auburn has 3 times as many playoff wins as Texas A&M and Oklahoma combined.
Unfortunately, you can't multiply 0 by anything. It becomes 0, Matt. So we can't use that term because they haven't won one yet. Once they win one, we can start to multiply. But
that's true. That's true. That's better math. Don't do math live on air, kids.
How about one more meathead of the day here, Matt? This is just this is from in San Francisco at a Warriors game. They will put up the score of the 49ers game, and you will see the crowd reaction, and then they will show a fan wearing a Brandon Ayuk jersey, and you will see the crowd reaction. And it's just the fun part about sports, about cheering and booing for dumb little things. But this is from the video. Why would you turn around, dude? Why would you turn around? The crowd was all for you, and then you had to turn around and show the name. There's enough fans who were just like, I don't know who number 11 is. I don't care. And then you turn around, they're like, oh yeah, that's the guy who doesn't want to play here, and we paid a lot of money and still refuses to play here.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. I'm surprised Old Man Rivers can't get it done in Indiana. Who would have known? You know.
And he's not been playing terribly. It's just they were kind of walking on a thin line that this was probably going to break down at some point in the season anyway. But like when they started to have to play the harder part of their schedule, then it gets worse. But I did see a stat today. The 5 hardest schedules in the NFL this season. The 5 hardest schedules, the Texans are the only team with more than 3 wins. So the top 5 is everyone has 2 or 3 wins, and the Texans have 10. So they're doing all right. I don't have the most faith of them getting a big win against the Chargers, but I'll be rooting for them on Saturday. I'll be rooting for them. Matt, I hope you have a great Christmas.
You too, Patrick. This is going to be a good Christmas. I think my parents want to send Patrick a Christmas gift, so we got to figure that out.
We'll figure that one out if they need to send me a Christmas gift. Appreciate everybody hanging out with us. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Joe, Merry Christmas. Chan, appreciate all you guys hanging out with us here on a Tuesday before the holidays. I know you got a lot of choices of where you spend your time, so it really does mean a lot you spend it with us. I hope you all have a great holiday. We'll be back next week to get you ready for the Citrus Bowl. Get you ready for Texas' last football game of 2025 and ring in a new year with you. But until then, everybody, be safe, be kind, have a very, very Merry Christmas. Keep your underwear clean. We'll see you right back here on Monday for more from Open Gym.